Well, it's night football here on the Garrison Stadium turf tonight as the Hawks back at home for the second consecutive week as they get into CIAA play tonight as they host Fayetteville State here at Garrison Stadium. Gaddis Hodges alongside Robert Burns here tonight in the booth high up of Garrison Stadium on what is a gorgeous night for football here in northeastern North Carolina. Robert, that's one thing we always look forward to in football season. When football season brings in some great weather, late September, early October, most of October in northeastern North Carolina is some of the best times all year long, and we got a great night for football.
It should be a great one tonight here, Mr. Gaddis, between the Fayetteville State Broncos and the Chowan Hawks. Fayetteville State actually coming off a little while where they haven't played at all. It's about 3 weeks since they played their last game due to the flooding. So look for them to come out hot or either rusty. And Chowan coming off a big week last year. Big win last week.
Yeah, it really was a comeback win. They were down 24-7 early, came back to win 55-45. But let's talk about Fayetteville State's delivery a little bit. They're much like Chowan was last week when Chowan went about 8 days without practice. I was talking to one of their assistants, Tyrone Jones, and Coach Jones played here at Chowan and coached here at Chowan. He and I have been friends for many, many years, and he said, you know, we just got the guys back last Sunday. He said it's kind of like starting over. We've gone back to the basics. We kept everything simple. He said the thing about it, we're a little bit further behind now than we would be if we'd have played all those games, because as the season goes along, you put in a few more gadgets. You put in a few more plays. And I think you're going to see maybe Fayetteville State a little bit like Chowan was last week, maybe having a tough time getting going, getting that rhythm back, getting their legs underneath.
Absolutely. Fayetteville State might be a little bit rusty. The good thing on their side is that they're going to come out hungry and ready to play since it's been so long since the last time.
And the two games this season, they opened up with a 32-0 win over Lincoln and then failed to wing it back on September 8th, 27-18. Lincoln has an excellent football team. But, Robert, you look at this roster here for Fayetteville State. They're loaded with talent. They have 12 guys that made either all CIAA or all rookie team a year ago. And, of course, their running back, Donshell Jetton, was the offensive rookie of the year. The defensive rookie of the year in the CIAA was Elvin De La Rosa last year. So they have some talent on this football team.
Right. And usually, even when you get off to a rusty start, you know, talent usually takes over. So it's going to be a great game either way. If Fayetteville State does come out rusty, if they come out strong, you know, talent's going to overcome. They have a lot of talent on that sideline.
That they do. When they bring in a transfer quarterback, Colin Anderson, who's a transfer from Bethune-Cookman. You throw him in with the people you got coming back at 10th place. I'll talk about that momentarily. And then you bring on a guy, Alex Wood, who's a transfer from Maryland on the defensive side. So you got two big veteran guys you can, you know, work things around and kind of solidify your group. Sometimes that's all it takes, Robert, is just a player here now, a veteran player that can come in and really give you some stability.
Exactly. You know, a lot of times those kids are going to look at the transfers as a leader. They've already been there and done that, especially if they're a division up, for example, a big-time powerhouse program like Maryland.
And you take Richard Hayes. Richard Hayes is, I think, 11 and 12 in his 2 seasons there down at Fayetteville State. He's an assistant coach who came over from Winston-Salem State. Of course, his dad, Bill Hayes, a legend here in the CIAA. But he has his team headed in the right direction. It was 6-5 a year ago, but he won the Southern Division, fell in the CIAA championship to Virginia State, and they had to go to Winston-Salem State to win that Southern Division to get there. So, you know, they've got some good players. You know, you're talking about a change at quarterback from Colin Anderson over to from Richard Latimer. Last year, a year ago, Latimer was a freshman and started in this game here when they beat Chowan 27-24. So if Anderson doesn't have it going, they can go to Latimer. He can come in and will not be much of a drop-off if something does happen to Anderson or he's not working correctly.
Right. And on the opposite side of the ball, Chowan's coming in really hot with Bryce Witt, who set a record last year at Chowan with over 400 passing yards. So expect Chowan to come out hot, especially offensively.
And you know, like you said, he threw for 439 yards. He's Box to Road National Player of the Week. He was Hero of the Week. He had just had a list of course, the Offensive Player of the Week. He had a list of things that he took care of. But he did start nicely for Witt last week. He started out with an interception early, but really settled down. Once he got it going, once he got that rhythm, when he drove this team 99 yards, the switch flipped on him, and he was outstanding from there on out.
it seemed like the whole Chowan team came out a little bit flat. Maybe not flat, definitely rusty, absolutely rusty. And then after the first quarter, it just seems kind of like those jitters went away, and they got really hot, and you saw the result.
And a game high record here at Chowan, over 700 yards in one game total offense. Matter of fact, two teams combined for nearly 1,300 yards last week, and a 55-45 win here for Chowan. Chowan's going to be missing a couple of vital cards to the defense tonight. Trey Terry, the leading tackler and the defensive player of the week, CIAA, not available tonight. He is nursing a wrist injury. He is not in uniform tonight. Also, one of the corners, Josh Berry, not playing tonight due to injury as well. So we'll see who steps up, who plays well in those spots here for the Hawks. We'll take a break, come back and get alongside Coach Tim Place and get his thoughts on tonight's game. Hawks under the lights here at the Garrison as they play host to Fayetteville State tonight. We're back with Coach Place after this brief timeout. Back here at Chowan, where the Hawks set to face Fayetteville State. Both teams making their way to the field. Just a few moments ago, we had a chance to catch up with the head coach of the Hawks, who's in his 11th season, Coach Tim Place, to talk about tonight's matchup with Fayetteville State. Hawks back at home in the second consecutive week. Some night football tonight, and I'm joined here by Coach Tim Place as we sit in the west end zone here at Garrison Stadium. And Coach, seems like every time we're here, we talk about the great weather, but it is an absolutely gorgeous night for football.
Yes, sir, it is. It is, and it's always nice spending a couple minutes with you as well, sir.
Coach, we go back to last week. McKendree, 24-7 lead. Looks like they're going in to make it 31-7. They fumble the football. Your team recovers and drives it 99 yards. What a huge turnaround in that game. What caused this team to get some juice after that fumble and that touchdown?
Sir, that's a good question because we didn't say anything different. It's just, anytime I guess you're able to drive the field 99 yards, that in itself is a boost. We've always had confidence in what we can do from an offensive perspective because we believe we have some kids that can play. It was a very difficult week due to kids getting back on campus, etc. So, we were fortunate. McKendree was a very good team, and we were able to do some things that put us in a position to be successful. But if I knew that answer, I'd be very wealthy right now.
One guy that got you going, Coach, was Bryce Widget, quarterback, threw for a school record, and has had a couple of national awards this week. Tell me about his play.
He was pretty good, and he'll be the first to admit he wasn't perfect. The only perfect person's looking down on his son, but he played a real good game, and he's just going to hopefully continue to get better because as a sophomore, he still has a lot of room for improvement. Had some mental errors. We got to clean that up, but he played a good game.
Coach, if anybody can sympathize with Coach Richard Hayes, it has to be you. We were sitting here talking last week about your kids being out of school, being away from the practice field. His team almost 2 weeks prior to getting back at it last Sunday.
Yes, and everybody in that part of the state is in our thoughts and prayers. I can't imagine what they've gone through. Ours was a little less lengthy, but we still had some issues. Fortunately, nothing happened here, unlike what happened down there. So, our perspective is much different than theirs. They had it much worse.
Coach, they come in 1-1, but I don't have to tell you that's a talented football team. They got 12 players back from last year's team that won the Southern Division. They either made all rookie or all CIAA.
They're very talented, and we're keenly aware of how good they are. they're a good football team. You know, they have a transfer quarterback who's very good, transfer corner from Maryland who's very good. You mix them up with the kids they have coming back. Yeah, we have our work cut out for us. They're a very good football team.
Coach, one guy that you know a lot about is to join those guys that are back. Stevie Green, a running back, over 2,600 yards in his career. Does their offense start with stopping him?
Yeah, you have. Anytime you play an offense, you got to stop the run. You got to put him in an and-long situation, or at least do the best you can to put him in negative situations. But yeah, he's a gifted young man. We're extremely impressed with him. He's a good kid, and the other kid they have, that sophomore, he's a good football player as well. So they're very talented.
Coach, they've only played 2 games. Has it been difficult to scout them prior to this one, due to the fact they only had 2 games on film?
You know, sir, it is what it is. You know, we can't hold that against them. So we have what we have, and we did the best of our abilities to prepare, and we'll see where that takes us.
Coach, by the time we get it on, have a good one.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
That is Coach Tim Play says his team is going to have the chance to put their offense on the field first here, Robert, because Fayetteville State won the toss and it deferred to the second half. So we'll see that offense of Chowan get back on the field, see if they have that continuity and that momentum they had when we left here last Saturday afternoon.
You know, it was a great show of class by Coach. Just mentioning the people in Fayetteville State, you know, people around that area, and especially with a bitter rivalry going on here, just to kind of think about those people and mention them, wish good luck to them.
Absolutely, and certainly you're not too far from that neck of the woods living in the North Myrtle Beach area, so you know what some of these players and some of these folks here from Fayetteville State and their fans and alumni have been going through.
Absolutely, absolutely. I can't go home yet, so the waters are still too high for me to go home. Maybe take a weekend whenever I get a chance to, but which is a little rough being a college athlete. You know, don't get to go home too much, but.
Well, we're set to get this one underway as the Hawks gonna receive the football to begin with here. Back deep for the Hawks going to be on the near side. It's going to be Kaim Perry. On the far side is Kaim Perry on the far side.
39, David Lamb.
As David Lamb's going to kick it away here for Fayetteville State, who's clad in all white today in the white headgear, showing in all royal blue.
And number 25, Courtney Johnson.
Courtney Johnson is the other gentleman that's back for Chowan. As Lamb is going to tee it up at the 35-yard line, and we get ready for the 4th game of the year for the Hawks in the midst of a 4-game homestand. Bowie State in the house next week. And then it'll be homecoming the following week. As Virginia Union comes to town. 2 difficult matches coming up after this one tonight, and this one will be difficult as well. Lamb, a left-footed kicker, set to come forward and kick this one away. A young man out of Pineville, North Carolina. And we're underway with our 4th football game of the year. It'll be Perry, the young man from just down the road, a Husky from the 7-yard line. Kaim looking for a place to go, trying to get to the near side, got some running room. He's out to the 30 and gets pushed out of bounds into the Chowan bench at about the 37-yard line. Nice return by the freshman from out of a Huskies, Hertford County High School. And the Hawks will set up shop up near their own 40-yard line. We'll see exactly where they mark it at here.
And last week, Chowan struggled with starting field position. Looks like they got pretty good field position to start off with.
And they're going to mark it at the 37-yard line. So Whit will work from the pistol with Tyrell Freeman to his right. Split to the near side for the Hawks. Going to be Paul Gooden, the receiver of the week. And Torrey Baker and Amik Watkins split to the left with Nick Floyd in the slot on the left as tight end on the 1st and 10. Here's Whit going to fake it and going to pull it down and run with it. He's got some running room. He's in the secondary, lowers his shoulder, makes his way to the 48-yard line. Great play design that time, Robert, as he had the run-pass option that time. And Whit, who's a really good runner, kept it and makes his way all the way to the 48-yard line. It is a gain of 15 and a Hawks first down.
Great start for Chowan this week. Whit looks like he's going back to his old ways, starting out hot.
This time Freeman's to his left as he works from the gun. Does Whit. He'll roll to his left, looks to pass, looking, now getting pressure, steps up and runs with it again. Still on his feet, got some running, 40, 35, 30, and will be pushed out of bounds near the Fayetteville State 25-yard line. So 2 Whit runs have gotten Chowan from the 37 to the Fayetteville State 25. So no, you look at his size, Robert. He's 6'4", weighs about 225. Kid's pretty nimble on his feet. We talked about that last week.
Well, I'd like to have him on the mound with the baseball team.
It's a gain of 23, and the Hawks in business at the 25-yard line of Fayetteville State. As we're early in this one, we played only 52 seconds here from the barrel. Once again, Baker and Gooden split to the left. Hawks will bring in a new tight end on the near side. It's going to be Austin Edwards, the freshman, as they work with just two receivers and double tights. And this is Freeman with the football. Terrell trying to get to the left side. He's cornered up and will go down. Back near the 31-yard line. He's covered up nicely on the far side by Brandon Miller, the freshman defensive end out of Winston-Salem. And that time Freeman just had absolutely nowhere to go. He tried to bounce it to the outside. It's a loss all the way back through the 31-yard line. A loss of 6. It'll bring up 2nd and 16 for the Hawks at that spot.
First negative play for the Hawks. Let's see how they respond right here.
3 games already in the books on the CIAA scoreboard this afternoon, as this is one of 6 games being contested today. Here's Whitt to pass. Pump fakes. Looks across the middle. Fires for Nick Floyd to tight end. He's got it for the touchdown. Whitt did a good job of looking at Corey Baker, and he just waved it off. And Nick Floyd had a step on the safety in the end zone, and Whitt lays it right on the money for his 7th touchdown pass of the year, and the Hawks take a 6-0 lead here in the first 2 minutes of this.
And Whitt comes out absolutely on fire.
You heard some of the Chowan fans down below us tonight. Pretty good crowd here at the Garrison tonight to enjoy this one. As set to try the PAT is going to be Jackson Brooks. Before we can get going, we got a flag on the play. Brooks on the season, 9 of 12. He was 5 of 6 in the PAT department last week. As we got an offside penalty here against somebody. City officials conferring. As a head referee tonight, we'll step by and say offsides against Fayetteville State. That is Carlos Turan. The umpire is Dwayne Smalls. The head linesman is Mike Pernick. The line judge is Timothy Rittman. Ethan Gunter is the side judge. Field judge is Roderick Pitt. And the back judge is Herman Hill.
And that may just be some rush showing for the Broncos.
As Coach Tim Place wants a little bit better explanation, see where the football's at. I don't know if he's changing his mind about it. Looks like he's going to go for the 1 instead of going for the 2. It'll be marked off half the distance. I think Coach Place is asking, is it coming on the kickoff or is it coming here? And it's going to be marked off half the distance. So just a little closer, maybe a yard closer here from Jackson Brooks. Out of the hold of the punter, John Kite. As the Hawks kick it towards the east end zone here at the Garrison. Here's the snap, the spot, the kick, and it's up and good. 7-0 lead. The Hawks have the lead here at Chowan. Back for the Hawk kickoff after this short timeout. This is Chowan Football on GoSeeHawks.com.
Chowan University Department of Athletics would like to thank Roanoke Chowan U0 for providing today's free game day notes. Pick up your free copy of the Roanoke Chowan U0 game notes at the gates. Popcorn, nachos, peanuts, barbecue sandwiches, cold drinks, and more. The concession stand is located on the lower floor of the press box near the guest side bleachers, and it's open to meet your game day snack needs. The Jeffcoat Museum of Americana operates the concession stand for today's game. Please come out and support the Jeffcoat Museum.
Well, the kind of start you want if you're the Hawks tonight. Roberts, they go 63 yards in just 4 plays as Whitt's running and passing get the Hawks down the field, and there was only 1 negative play in that drive, and that was a running play by Terrell Freeman, but the Hawks made it look pretty easy in this first drive.
You know what I would really like to see here, Gaddis? Is a defensive stop for the Hawks. That'd be real nice to get the ball back, maybe go up 2 touchdowns on them.
Tashel Jetting is back deep. Looks like Desmond Ricks is also back deep. We'll see. I can't tell if it's 82 or 32. And Brooks comes forward. And here's a line drive kick. Going to drive Brooks back all the way to the 5-yard line. Correction, that is Brandon Smith. And Smith's got some room. Now he's trying to reverse field. And now he'll come back again, and they'll run out of room here on the near side, so Hawks converge on him. Just across the 30 at about the 31-yard line. Making the stop for the Hawks was Jacquay Pert, the redshirt senior from out of Sebring, Florida. Kind of interesting, Robert. He was a college teammate of Bethune-Cookman with the quarterback here for Fayetteville State, Colin Anderson.
And, you know, transfers can really be a big deal, especially in Division II, Division III football. You get in some transfers that are really good, that brings your whole team up.
Nice return by Brandon Smith will set up Fayetteville State out of their own 31. As Anderson will work with the pistol with Stevie Green to his left on a 3-receiver set, and a man coming through the formation. They'll give it Green back the other way. He kind of skips away from one tackle and is driven down right at the line of scrimmage. Boy, the Hawks closed the door quickly when it looked like Green had some running room. David Harden, the redshirt senior out of Glen Allen, Virginia, with a stop. No gain on the play. It brings up 2nd and 10.
And Gaddis, do you think that the Broncos are coming out slow, or do you think that the Hawks are just on their game tonight?
Well, we'll see. I think it's going to be a little bit of both here early. We'll see. But here's Anderson going to look like a busted play, and Anderson's going to go down to the 28-yard line. Pearl again coming through to make the stop, and you could see it right in, Robert. He was looking for a running back, and there was nobody there. So a busted play, loss of a couple of yards back to the 29. But if they are coming out slow, Robert, and they have trouble clicking, the Hawks have got to take advantage of it early.
It'd be a great time to put up a couple touchdowns, maybe a few field goals. It's always nice to have a cushion.
Here's 3rd and 12. We have movement. Chowan's going to be offside, so a free play here for Fayetteville State, and the pass is incomplete. It was intended on the near side for Bruce Davis, but it looked like the Hawks might have been the left side. That defensive front was offside. Hawks come in averaging, they've had 23 penalties on the year. So they're averaging about 8 penalties a game for 84 yards a game. So an offside penalty here becomes their first of the night. Hawks up in front here, 7-0. 12 was 7 to go in the first period. The only night game this season here for the Hawks here at the Garrison. Next 2 weeks we'll be here at 1 o'clock, Bowie State, Virginia Union. Anderson again looking to the sidelines to change the play calls. He has trip receivers to the right and Davis split to the left with no tight end. Looks like the Hawks going to bring 4 as Green slips from his right to his left. Anderson waiting on the snap on this 3rd and 7 across the middle. Catch is made for the first down. Into the Hawks territory, maneuvering nicely with the football. It's going to be Jalen Gavin, the redshirt junior out of Greensboro's Page High School. And you look at Gavin, he leads the team in catches with 9 on the season. So Fayetteville State needed 7. And they get 21. And here's Green with the football inside. The Hawks have him wrapped up, but he's kind of slips away for a couple yards. They had him hit in the backfield of the Hawks, and making the hit, the initial hit was Calvin Stevens. But Stevens couldn't hold him, and Green was able to get away for a couple yards.
Kind of looked like an arm tackle, just spun right out of it.
Fayetteville State quickly to the line of scrimmage. Here's Anderson again working from the gun. Get Green have it again. He'll try to bounce it to the right side. And the Hawks knock it down back at right at the line of scrimmage. Coming up from a safety spot appeared to be Brian Bryant. And Bryant came up and made a nice play there, Robert. The Hawk defense looking pretty quick thus far.
You know, just like we talked about last weekend, the Hawks always tend to swarm to the ball. You know, there's not usually one guy making the tackle. It's one guy hitting them, 2 guys following them.
Fayetteville State on a 3rd and 9 have only converted 1 third down play in this drive. On the season, they're 29.6% on 3rd down conversions. 8 of 27 coming in tonight. Here's some movement. As a couple of guys jumped and one receiver took off here for Fayetteville State. It kind of reminds you, Robert, of what you see in the opening games of the season for Fayetteville State. It has to kind of feel like they're starting over.
And you know, what we talked about last weekend was a lot of times CIAA games are going to have a lot of penalties in them. And so far, hasn't been any unsportsmanlike penalties, anything like that, but it's been a lot of offsides, just rust for the Broncos. And as the game goes on, that might wear out a little bit, so the Hawks need to take advantage right now while they can.
Penalty moves it back to the Hawk 49-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 15 now for the Broncos. Trip receivers this time to the left for Anderson and company. Anderson looking to pass. Hawks trying to provide pressure and incomplete. Almost a nice catch here on the near side by Brandon Pearson Boyd. The ball hit him right in the hands. That would have been a spectacular catch. He couldn't hold it. The Hawks had a couple guys in defense, so the Hawks will force the Fayetteville State punter Jacob Young to come on. Young is punts it at a 36.6% clip. Yardage-wise. Back deep for the Hawks. It's going to be Paul Gooden back around his own 12-yard line. Hawks up in front, 7-0 here.
Great stand for the Hawks right there.
Here's Young with plenty of time to kick it away, and a low spiraling kick that's headed towards the sidelines and take a nice Fayetteville State roll, and one kind of went back to the middle of the field, or rolled dead at the Chowan 15-yard line. Congratulations to Chowan Sabrina Henderson and Owen Bryce Witt. They were named Hero Sports D2 Heroes of the Week for their respective sports, and by fan vote here, the Chowan fans did a great job of getting out and voting those two as a Hero Sports D2 Hero of the Week. Congratulations to them. Serena, a sophomore to women's soccer team, she edged out Abigail Johnson from Fairmont State by 56 votes. So congratulations to both of those Chowan athletes being named Hero of the Week. First and 10 Hawks from their own 15. This time Whitt again from the gun, and he'll pull it down and run with it again. And this time just enough to get him across the 15 to about the 16-yard line. The interior of the defense here for Fayetteville State making the stop. Led by Shimon Squires, the redshirt junior out of Newbern High School. Played at a good program down at Newbern. It's a gain of only 1 to the 16. It'll bring up 2nd and 9 for Chowan. Fayetteville State next week's on the road again as they head up to Durham to take on Shaw. Bryce with a long count. Now will drop straight back, looking with 4 people in the pattern. Steps up, fires for Floyd again, and the tight end's got it to the 48 of Fayetteville State. You give Whitt time, he will pick you apart, Robert.
Absolutely. Looks like we got a hawk down over there on the sideline. Whoever made the catch?
That was Nick Floyd. Nick's a little slow to get up. I hope maybe it was just a cramp. As he has great speed at the tight end spot. He's going to ask to come out. The gain is all the way to the 48-yard line. Here comes Chowan training staff in to attend to Floyd. Might have got his ankle rolled up with the way he was tackled, but boy, Floyd gets a lot of speed at that tight end spot.
Definitely. It looks like he was hobbling a little bit. He's down on the field now. But just a great throw by Whitt again. You know, he had the opportunity to scramble out of the pocket. It looked like he was about to take off, but it looks like he wants to throw. He wants to get those big yardage plays.
That's a gain of 36 yards to the Fayetteville State 48-yard line.
And you know, something that I've noticed offensively just from looking at films, it seems like a lot of the CIAA teams run out of the pistol formation. Is that common for the CIAA?
Yes, it is. A lot of people run the spread, run the quick, try to get it to the line of scrimmage and snap it quick. It's also a night for coaches. The Chowan coaching staff, along with the Fayetteville State coaching staff, I believe, is wearing the Coach DeCure MD patches. They'll be worn throughout the country today for their support and raise awareness for muscular dystrophy. So congratulations to those coaches for getting on board to support that cause to raise awareness for muscular dystrophy. Has helped support families and individuals who are battling the Duchenne disorder. Looks like Nick's going to be all right. The transfer from Delaware State, who had 3 catches coming in tonight, and he already has a couple tonight. One was 4 touchdowns. You can see Torrey Baker, who's a lead on his team, coming up and kind of give him a little high five, saying, "Shake it off, man. We need you back in there."
Hopefully we're going to see him back soon. And you mentioned that he was a transfer. It only takes a few transfers on the team. Delaware State's a Division I program? So,
yes.
So, it takes a few transfers from a higher level to come down and really show what it's like and really be a leader on the team.
Austin Edwards in to replace him. Also, Adrian McNeil in the lineup as well. And running back, here's Terrell Freeman with nowhere to go. Tried the right side because Sean James, a redshirt sophomore, was an all-rookie player a year ago. Young man from out of South Carolina. Chase, South Carolina, I believe is how you pronounce it. And no gain for the Hawks. Maybe even lost a yard back to the 49, so to bring up 2nd and a short 11 here. As we just lost our screen here. There we go. For our stats. Whitt rolls to his left. Now goes back to his right. Looks deep. Fires deep for McNeil. It's incomplete. Nice play by the defensive back, Cody Pirtle. Another Purdy, that is, another Newbern grad. You look at this roster, Robert. Of course, you're not quite familiar with some of the high schools here in North Carolina as you are with South Carolina. But when you look at Hillside, one of the top 4A teams in the state, when it's got several players from New Bern, perennial state powers, won several state championships, and you look at all those Fayetteville schools, they've got a lot of kids from Charlotte. So they got a lot of kids from the upper level schools here. Does Fayetteville State. 3rd down and 11 for the Hawks. 9 minutes to go in the first period here. Hawks in front, 7-0. Witt steps out of pressure. Now he's near side, has a man wide open and making the catch and getting knocked down on a play at the 11-yard line. It's going to be, let's see, I don't have an 87 on my roster. So we'll have to try to dig that one out and see who that is. So we'll take a look and see if we can run that up. But Witt again just bought himself some time, stepped away from the pressure coming from Purdy, who was coming on a safety blitz, and he stepped up and heaved it deep, and the ball is at the 11-yard line.
As you mentioned earlier, for a guy that's 6'4", he's pretty evasive.
Yes, he is. So 1st and 10 from the 11 of Fayetteville State works the Hawks. Trying to stick it in for the second consecutive time. This is Freeman, who's had trouble getting going tonight. Breaks the tackle, gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. And Freeman's going to go down. We got a flag in the secondary here, so hold everything. That was Latrell Lloyd who had that catch early for the Hawks. And here comes another flag. I'm not sure if somebody didn't say something to somebody. As trotting off the field is De La Rosa, Elvin De La Rosa, the sophomore defensive back. And Richard Hayes is giving him an earful. Young man from out of Winston-Salem Parkland High School. So these officials are conferring down below us here. Also, this is Community and Club Day here at Chowan. The athletic department recognizing clubs and organizations on campus. Campus advisors or club officers will be recognized in between quarters tonight. And Miss Chowan 2018 and 19.
Defense, number 5, half distance.
So you heard it as on Della.
Unsportsmanlike, number 5. That's his first unsportsmanlike of the game. First down, Chowan.
So a personal foul and a face mask against De La Rosa. And that's going to move the football to the 3-yard line, where it'll be 1st and goal from the Hawks at that spot. Also, we'll see Miss Chowan 2018-2019 crowned here at halftime tonight as well. So big night, Community Club Day here at Chowan. 1st and goal from the 3. Double tight ends for the Hawks with 2 split receivers to the right as they work off the left hash. Here's Witt going to roll to his right. Let's see if Witt's going to try to run it. It's going to throw it to Gooden for the touchdown. Once again, that run-pass option just throws the Fayetteville State defense, Robert. And Witt throws his second touchdown pass of the night as the Hawks have just gone 85 yards in 5 plays.
It looks like our running game's having a little bit of trouble out of the gate, but the passing game looks amazing. And just that option to run or pass is looking really nice right now for Witt.
You got to think sooner or later that run game is going to get opened up by this passing game here by Witt and company. Here's Brooks. They're trying to make it 14-0. Snap, spot, kick from Brooks is high enough, and it is straight enough and long enough, just like this sidewalk going through Squirrel Park. Right down the middle, 14-0, 8-12 going the first period. Back for the kickoff after this short timeout. This Chowan football and go to CUHawks.com.
Investor Services, Meltec of Murfreesboro, Taylor Freezer Sales, Subway on Main Street in Murfreesboro, reminding you to eat fresh. McPherson Beverage Company, official beverage supplier for Chowan University. Central Ford, located on Memorial Drive in Ahoskie. The Roanoke Chowan News Herald, stitch count, signs, wraps, screening, embroidery, and more. Carolina Chicken and Barbecue, located on Memorial Drive in Ahoskie. King Coffee on Main Street. Rebel Realty, contact Alicia Rebel for your realty needs. PNC Bank, located on Main Street in Murfreesboro. Integrated Family Services, Southern Bank, Southampton Memorial Hospital, Farm Bureau, and Benchmark Builders.
Jackson Brooks set to kick it away. Hawks in front 14-0, but still a long ways to go with 8:12 to go in the first period. Going to be Brandon Smith again from the 10. Smith has already shown some speed on return and got it going here. He's down the far side, and the Hawks going to finally get him down up near the 43-yard line, chasing him down on the play for the Hawks. And making the stop here on the near side is going to be Cortez Paul, I believe, making the stop.
Stephen Butler and Deion Taylor on the stop.
Correction, that's Stevie Butler and Deion Taylor making this stop here for homestanding Hawks. Missing a few numbers on my roster tonight, so trying to keep up with what's going on here. So 1st and 10 out of the 42 for Fayetteville State. They trail here at Chowan 14-0. Here's Stevie Green looking for some running room. Bounce to the outside, got some room as he's going to be driven out of bounds by Bryant in Chowan territory at the 48-yard line.
Stevie Green on carry, force out of bounds by 28, Brian Bryant.
You can see that Fayetteville State's got some athletes on their side. Between kick returns and just bouncing to the outside, they got some quick young men.
Gain of 9, be 2nd and 1 from the Hawks 49, and Green's got the first down as he makes his way near the 42.
Stevie Green on carry.
You know, Hawks have given up 291 yards on the ground this season. So you're going to think Fayetteville State's looking at that and say, maybe we can get something done here tonight. And, passing game not clicking here early. They've gone right to the ground game here. And Stevie Green's one of the best in the league, and he's got it again to the right side, and he's got the first down. He does such a good job as the flag is down at 37. Green does such a good job of being patient and waiting for the blocks to unfold in front of him. That time he just kind of bided his time and bounced to the outside and has the first down. But I think a holding call coming here against Fayetteville State, we shall see. A head official here will indicate. Holding against Fayetteville State. And the guilty party is the tight end, and that's going to be Christopher Brooks, the sophomore from out of Walkertown, North Carolina. So instead of a first down at the 32-yard line of Chowan, it's going to be still first down, but it's going to be 1st and 15 back in the 46. And a fairly long first period here from Chowan. So Hawks lead at 14-0. Here's Anderson with a play fake. And they're going to try to heave it deep. Has a man out there. It's going to be intercepted. They got a flag coming. This might be pass interference. And if it is, it's going to be whistled on George Parker, who made the interception. And the back judge threw the flag. We'll see. As he was battling on the far side, Don Shell Jetton. I don't know what's coming down the far side. Let's see what they're going to call here.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't see much there.
Yeah, and Parker made a great interception, made a diving interception. Let's see what it's going to be, what the call is going to be here. As the flag is thrown, as the contact occurred around the 4-yard line. And they say it's against Fayetteville State. And they're going to wave it off. They pick it up and say no flag. And Richard Hayes, the head coach here for Fayetteville State, wants an explanation, and I don't blame him here. As he's talking to the official on the far side, and you can't blame him, Robert.
Regardless, what an interception by George Parker.
That's his 2nd of the year. And for the Hawk defense, that is their 4th interception of the year. And the Hawks get it back on their own 4-yard line. Up in front, 14-0 here at home. Good Fayetteville State crowd on the other side tonight. That's the thing that I will say about the teams in the CIAA. We had McKendree here from Illinois last week, and obviously they're not going to bring a lot of people, but the CIAA people really travel well. So here's Swinton, who will operate from his own end zone, and he's going to let Terrell Freeman have it. And Freeman's got his biggest run of the night, passing to the outside. First down as the flag comes out. Probably going to be holding as Freeman gets out across the 15 to about the 17. A lot of flags here early in this football game. You know, we didn't have very many last week, but already a lot here tonight.
And we talked about that we would expect it, especially with Fayetteville State coming out a little rusty. It's going to be bound to happen.
Flag is lying at the 7-yard line. Means half the distance to the goal for the Hawks to be back at the 2.
Holding, offense, number 78. Half the distance from the spot and foul.
It's going to be Donald Boone, the all-league performer for the Hawks, getting whistle for the hold here, working from his left tackle spot. So they got to put it back at the 4-yard line, so they'll mark it off from where the flag was. So it'll be back at the 4 where we play first down. So Witt again with work from the gun with 2 receivers to the right. So he still intend to, well, Dominic Floyd's up. Here's White. Witt rolling, has Baker right across the 10 to the 15, pushed out of bounds near the 20. Coming up making the play, it's going to be Elvin De La Rosa, who's back in the lineup now for the Broncos. But that's kind of a safe play. You just put Baker right in the flat, you get it to him, and he gets pretty good yardage out to the 17. It's a gain of 13 and a Hawk first down.
There was nobody even close to Baker. It had to be 7 yards before the first Bronco was able to put a finger on him.
Gooden and Baker split to the left. Witt waiting on the snap, and he'll let Freeman hold it and come forward. And here's Freeman lowering his head and comes across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Underneath on the stop is going to be Marcus Crutchfield, the redshirt freshman out of Hillside High School. A lot of guys from Hillside High School up in Durham on this team from Fayetteville State. You can tell Coach Richard Hayes has some good recruiting ties in that area. One of the best areas in this state up in the Raleigh-Durham area. Boy, Raleigh area has really exploded over the last few years. A gain of 5, or 4. It'll bring up 2nd and 6 for the Hawks out of their own 22. There's Bryce looking to pass. Looking left, getting pressure, steps in the pocket, dumps it off to Floyd. He's back in the ball game. Correction, that's Freeman. Freeman's going to get knocked down up in the 36. From his secondary making the stop, it's going to be Roderick Cottle, the senior free safety, but just up the road in Rocky Mount. Played for a good high school program in Rocky Mount High School. Won a state championship when Cottle was there.
I actually got a chance to do a high school game in Rocky Mount. I believe it was Rocky Mountain versus Fike, and that was some outstanding football.
Yeah, it really is. Rocky Mount's got a great program. 3rd and 2 now for the Hawks. Out of their own 31. Here's Bryce to throw again. Man, he's been a busy guy tonight. Rolls right to his left, going to pull it down and get the first down. We got another flag coming here late. And this may be Donald Boone again. And Donald really upset with himself as he got another flag coming out here. So let's see here. And Witt easily had the first down out of beyond the 30 at about the 32. And this one may be coming back, flag laying back at the 21-yard line, which means they'll mark it off from the flag.
Holding, offense, number 78.
And they get Donald Boone again. Unfortunately for Donald, he's 6'5" and 310. And they'll step it off, and we'll have another chance to play 3rd down, but it's going an awful long ways to try to pick up the first down as Adrian McNeil will enter the lineup for Chowan, and out comes Austin Edwards. So Floyd, the tight end down below us here, he's taking his pads off. Looks like he's done for the night. Boy, that's a big loss for the Hawks. He was off to a great start tonight. Hopefully not anything torn, maybe just a sprain of the knee here for Nick Floyd.
Looks like he's walking around, still pretty gingerly though.
Yeah.
And that's really big because Witt's having such a hot game passing-wise. Not much is happening with the running game. But like you said, you usually got to pass to run to pass. So you would imagine with all this passing going on that, we'd start being able to run the ball pretty well here soon.
Austin Evans, a freshman out of Wilmington, is his backup. He's going to get his chance here as the officials are still conferring here about where to mark this football. Already in the game tonight. It's been 8 penalties in this game already, and we still have 5:29 left to go in this first quarter.
4 or 5 of which were just holding calls.
Yep. I think a couple on each side, maybe. Now they'll place the football at the 16, it looks like. So it'll bring up 3rd and 11. They were looking at one time. How about 3rd and 25? So the Hawks, the line to make for the first down is the 28-yard line. Their own 28. As they operate from their own 16. Witt with a 4-receiver set He and Freeman make up the Chowan backfield. Witt looking to pass, rolls to his left. Everybody's covered. And he throws back to McNeil, and he's going to be, he gets away from a tackler, but can he get the first down? No, he will not. He came up about 2 yards shy. McNeil made a nice catch, but couldn't get away from a couple of defenders, and finally making the stop is going to be Anthony Harris, the redshirt sophomore out of Bethel, North Carolina. And so for the first time tonight, John Kite in the Chowan punt unit will come on. As Kite on the season averaging 41.2 yards per kick.
And I know it didn't get the first down, but how about McNeil with the effort to try to get the first down? Ended up about 2 yards away from it, but he was fighting for it.
Here's Tyus Sharp back deep. Knight's got time and gets away a nice one. Sharp will single for the fair catch and make it at his own 36. 4:21 to go in the first period. Chowan out at front here at home tonight as they host of Fayetteville State. Also, congratulations to Bryce Witt. Box to Rowe, National Player of the Week. Witt last week, the sophomore out of Sutherland, Virginia, threw for a school record 439 yards. So he was 23 of 33 passing. Witt accounted for 5 scores on the afternoon, 3 passing, 2 running. He is only the second Chowan player ever to be named the National Player of the Week. The other was quarterback Cameron Stover, who was selected back in 2011. So 1st and 10 from the 36, their own 36 for Fayetteville State, and bring a man in motion and give it back the other way to a new running back who's in the lineup, and some good speed coming from Johnny Gillespie, the redshirt sophomore to transfer from East Carolina, who played at that powerful Wallace Rose Hill program down in Wallace, North Carolina. Not quite the first time. It'll be 2nd and 1. And here comes Gillespie again. And Gillespie's in the Chowan territory to the 47 before the Hawks get a tackle from Conor O'Brien from the secondary. So here comes a little change of pace now as Green's going to come back in and Gillespie's going to go out. Boy, Gillespie gave him some pretty quick steps, some good speed at tailback. Green's back in on this first down from the 47 of Chowan. Anderson to pass across the middle, has a man wide open, and he's got the catch to the 20. O'Brien finally chases the big tight end down, and it's going to be Christopher Brooks. The tight end from out of Walkertown was open across the middle, and he's going to carry it all the way to the Fayetteville State 13-yard line.
Fayetteville State going with a hurry-up again.
That's a gain of 34 yards. 1st and 10 from the Chowan 30. First time in the red zone tonight here for Fayetteville State, and they are a perfect 6 for 6 on the year in the red zone. So Anderson looks over the Chowan defense on his first time. High snap. Anderson goes back and slides down and picks it up back near the 22-yard line. Boy, Stevie Green, the running back, is upset because they really thought they had something on that play. And so they're going to bring Green out, and they're going to put Jetton in at tailback, a sophomore from out of Mooresville who was on Offensive Rookie of the Year last week, was Donshell Jetton. So you don't drop off much from Green to Jetton, and we just saw Gillespie kind of set him up with 2 big runs. Lost all the way back to the 21. It'll be 2nd and 18 from that spot for Fayetteville State. So we go into 3 minutes before this one snapped. Anderson taking a long look at the Fayetteville State coaching staff, and they elect to call a timeout. 2:55 is what we show on our first period clock. We got a time on the field with Chowan at the front 14-0. Back for more after this timeout on GoCUHawks.com.
Metal Tech is located on Broad Street in Murfreesboro and wishes the Hawks good luck this season. Also, today's game is brought to you in part by our platinum sponsors. First Citizens Wealth Management. Let R. Brandon Whitley assist you with your investing needs. Contact him at 919-716-2015. And by Southampton Memorial Hospital, located in Franklin, Virginia. Healing begins here. Visit Southampton Memorial at smhfranklin.com. And special thanks to Dr. Frank Taylor, official team doctor of Chowan Athletics. And Dr. Anthony Beck, team orthopedic specialist for the Hawks.
Taking a CIAA scoreboard, I'll give you a couple of updated scores here following this play here. After the Fayetteville State timeout, they have it at Chowan 21, looking at 2nd and 18 here as we wind down the final 2:55 of this first period, and a change of the play again. Anderson, the transfer from Bethune-Cookman, as the quarterback. 6'5", 230. So he's going to give it up inside the Jetton, and the Hawks have it stuffed out. Matter of fact, a loss a couple of yards, and a host of Hawks on the play. Purd in on the stop. Also underneath for the Hawks getting in a little bit of action is going to be Eric Bullock. Jaquay Purd on the tackle, also a couple back to the 23. It'll be 3rd and 20 now for Fayetteville State. So been kind of pushed out of the red zone here following that bad snap. Once again, Anderson looking to the sideline. 4 receivers set, Green getting to his right. Anderson across the middle, deflected away right at the last minute on a great play. On a diving effort here from Chowan's Keandre Randerson. Randerson saved a touchdown, Rob.
Secondary for Chowan's looking amazing tonight.
As here's David Lamb, who's a perfect 4 for 4 of the year, to attempt the field goal from 40 yards out. His longest this year has been 45. He's hit from 45, 40, 39, and 24. So this is right in Lamb's wheelhouse. I was watching him down in the pregame. This kid has a tremendous leg. Lamb from out of the Charlotte area, out at Pineville. So Fayetteville State's asked to take another timeout here, so we'll take one with them. 14-0, Hawks out in front. We're back for 4th and 20 after this short timeout. This is Chowan Football. You listen to it on GoCUHawks.com.
CIAA fans, please help support these companies that generously support us. Also, a special thank you to Integrated Family Services located in Ahoskie on Main Street. Integrated Family Services serves 16 Northeast North Carolina counties specializing in mental health issues, substance abuse, and developmental disabilities. Call their mobile crisis unit at 866-437-1821 or integratedfamilyservices.net. Integrated Family Services, connecting pieces, creating stronger families.
Fayetteville State back on the field. This will officially be, looks like maybe a 39-yard attempt. I had the hold of Jalen Gavin. Snap, spot, kick from Anderson. Lamb is certainly long enough, and it is good. Some of the Chowan players thought it was no good, but it is good. Got just inside of it right upright. And Fayetteville State's on the board on Lamb. 39-yard field goal. That's perfect. 5 for 5 on the year. And he replaced Mark Transau, who was a kicker last year, who was an all-CIAA performer. So not much drop-off to Mr. Lamb, and showed a big leg that time and getting the Broncos on the board here. 14-3, Hawks out in front. 2:12 to play from the CIAA scoreboard in the second quarter. Shaw leads Virginia State 7-0. And in the third quarter with 1:41 remaining, Winston-Salem State up in front of Bowie 17-12 up in Maryland. We'll see Bowie State right here next week and a talented quarterback, Emil Hall. Already had 3 games go final today in the CIAA. Virginia Union a winner today. Johnson C. Smith and St. Aug winners earlier today here in league play.
Kicking for Fayetteville State. Back deep for the Hawks. 23, Kyan Perry. And
Courtney Johnson and Kyan Perry getting deep as Lamb's got it teed up and set to kick it away. Sun's starting to go down in the west skies here above Garrison Stadium. The light's starting to take effect here on this long-time home of the Chowan football program. Soon to be moved. Not sure how soon. Lamb a high short kick. Perry is going to get the opportunity from the 11. Bobbles it. And goes back to pick it up. Gets away from one tackle but can't get away from another. Perry kind of looked like he took his eyes off of it and bobbled it. Boy, he had some running room because it was a short kick. Then he bobbled it, had to go back and pick it up. And he was knocked off his pins by Keontae Ball when the free safety from out of Fayetteville's E. Smith High School. The ball's going to be at the 9.
Definitely could have been a lot worse. There were some Broncos getting down there pretty quickly.
And they were. So Perry unable to hold it on the return. And so it'll be 1st and 10 Hawks from their own 9. Hawks have scored on 2 of their 3 offensive possessions tonight. And Bryce Witt will hand it away to Michael Offett. Offett started left, reverses field, and that's going to be swarmed under by a host of Fayetteville State defenders. Offett started left and lot of times you reverse field, you better have some wheels to get in the reverse, and Alfred didn't have quite enough to get back there and lost 4 back to the 5-yard line.
You know, now they're right in the own shadow of their own goal line, so it kind of limits your play call a little bit. Usually don't want to be standing in the gun too much when you're back there, but it looks like Chowan's going to go from the pistol formation again.
And another thing you do here, if you don't convert here, if you turn it over here, you're going to get Fayetteville State pretty good field position, even if you have to punt it. It was in motion from right on the left. Bryce drop it straight back. They're going to set up a screen to Gooden on the near side, and Fayetteville State has it smelled out perfect. Roderick Cottle, the senior, making the play. As the Hawks ran into receive a screen to the short side of the field, Gooden was able to get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd and 14. So the Hawks running the receiver screen to the near side, and great job by Cottle, the senior, who came up from a strong safety spot to make the play. So the Hawks look at 3rd and 14 now. Hawks this season on 3rd down of 36% in 3rd down conversions. Here's Bryce Witt looking to pass from his own end zone, and pass is going to be incomplete. Looked like Witt might have slipped as he tried to throw it, and Gooden was begging for pass interference, but it's not coming. And Chowan with the first 3 and out of the night. Kite's going to have to kick it from that checkerboard end zone. Not what you wanted if you coached Tim Place at that point to 3 and out. Fayetteville State, if they handle it here, should get pretty good field position down here at Chowan, 14-3.
He's going to have his heels right on that back line.
Quick snap, Kite gets it off, end over end, as Smart will come up and let it roll. Boy, it almost hit another Fayetteville State player and rolled dead at the 45. Guy who almost ran into trouble was Alex Woods, as he almost ran right into the football here.
A little bit of extracurricular activity over there.
Yeah, but cleared up nicely by teammates from either side. So the ball will be at the 45-yard line of Chowan for Fayetteville State. Broncos starting to kind of get in the rhythm a little bit. You can see it, Robert, coming here, especially on the defensive side of the football. We've seen some movement in their offense as well. And as they put Darnell Walker back in the lineup in the backfield along with Green. First time we've seen 2 backs around Anderson. High snap, Anderson will give it to Green. Green deep back in his own backfield. Chowan has him hemmed up, and he'll go down at the 45. Chowan 45. Jockey Pert again with a good play. Also Connor O'Brien in on the stop. That was just a doomed play from the beginning. It was a high snap, and then Anderson just kind of looped it back to Green.
And O'Brien's been all over the field tonight. I've seen him running around left to right. He's fast, and I think he's a redshirt freshman. He's already made a few plays tonight.
And that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. A loss of 10 on the play, and it'll be 15 minutes in the books here at the Barrel. Chowan up in front. Fayetteville State 14-3. We'll take a break, come back and start the second quarter after this short timeout, as this is Chowan football on GoCUHawks.com.
Looking for a healthy meal after today's game? Head to Subway, located on Main Street in Murfreesboro, open until 11 p.m. tonight. Try their Sub of the Month with the new Chicken Bacon Ranch Melt. Subway reminding all Hawks fans to eat fresh. And are you looking for a new or used vehicle? Try Central Ford in Ahoskie. Located on Memorial Drive, Central Ford specializes in new Ford auto sales and also has an abundant used inventory. Need repairs or parts for your current vehicle? Central Ford can help with any of your vehicle needs. 866-415-8856 is their number. Ask for name the Gasman White.
Alongside Robert Woods, Candace Hodges with you tonight here in the press box above Garrison Stadium. Hawks up in front 14-3 over Fayetteville State. We start the second quarter to be 2nd and 20 for the Vistas from out of Fayetteville, who are playing their first game since September the 8th. Due to Hurricane Floyd, those kids were forced to leave campus for a couple of weeks and just been back on the practice field within the last week. And this is a Fayetteville State team that is certainly expected to contend and was picked by the other coaches in the league to be the CIAA, to win the CIAA South again, as they had trouble getting the chains straightened out. Some of our baseball guys on the far sidelines. Hawks. Robert, you might know a few of these guys.
Yes, sir. Might know all of them.
Yep. And we got the chain squared away and set to go. We're getting back to Fayetteville State's dilemma. I heard Coach Richard Hayes say on a video conference today, he said, we still got everything in front of us. He said, we win everything from here out. We'll still be right what we were looking for to begin these seasons. They come in tonight 1-1. Chowan trying to get to 500. Here's Anderson on the keeper. Pert again. Jacque Pert is having a big night tonight. Tackling his former college teammate from down at Bethune-Cookman up at the 47 after a gain of 2. You got to think those two guys will probably have a little discussion after the game. They had time together down at Bethune-Cookman, which is in the Tallahassee, Florida area. The 3rd and 18 for Fayetteville State. Hawks are moving up front, but now it looks like Fayetteville State might have moved.
Definitely moving up front.
Aaron Bullock moved on the near side for the Hawks, and I think somebody might have moved on the right here for Fayetteville State.
Snap and rush on the offense. Number 58. 5-yard penalty.
That's going to be Elijah O'Neal, the freshman offensive lineman, who jumped. That'll move the football back to the 42. So it'll bring up 3rd and 23 now. In that first quarter, the Hawks with 188 yards of total offense. Fayetteville State with only 77. And it's parlayed into a 14-3 Chowan lead here at the Barrel. Anderson from the gun with a 3-receiver set. No tight end. Anderson with time. He's it across the middle, and it's caught. And still on his feet, headed to the end zone for the touchdown. It's going to be Brandon Pearson Boyd. Tell you what, when Anderson gets time, he can spin it. The young man can really throw it. And that time, Pearson Boyd just bounced off the Chowan defender and takes it in the end zone for the touchdown. So after spotting Chowan a 14-0 lead, Fayetteville State's come back with a field goal and now a touchdown. Field position made a difference here.
Looks like they're going to run a trick play.
As Lamb's going to come back and run this spread, and then they'll attempt the extra point. Lamb this season is 3 or 4 in the PAT department. And here's his kick, and it's right down Main Street. 14-10, Chowan with the lead. Back for the Fayetteville State kickoff after this short timeout.
Fayetteville State 10. If you're looking for a way to get the latest in Chowan apparel and gear, look no more. Hawks fans can shop online at shopchowan.com and choose from thousands of Chowan items, including apparel, rain gear, jewelry, auto decorations, and more. If you want to support the Hawks in style this year, log on to shopchowan.com. Since 1901, Southern Bank has made its interest you. Stop by your Murfreesboro branch at 336 East Main Street to check out banking options tailored to your specific financial needs. For checking accounts to estate planning, Southern Bank is here for you. Contact branch manager Matthew Howell at 398-4174 to talk about your banking needs.
Fayetteville State coming back to life here after being down 14-0. They put up a 10 spot, 58-yard pass and a touchdown from Anderson, who has just thrown his second touchdown pass of the year to Brandon Pearson Boyd, the redshirt freshman out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Here's Lamb to kick it away. Courtney Johnson along with Kyne Perry back deep. As Lamb, the left-footed kicker, is a big-time leg and is a big weapon for this Fayetteville State team. High, short kick. Perry will field at the 12. This time he'll field it clean. Looking for some running room is Perry. Cutting it up across the 30. Still on his feet to the 40, 45-yard line. Goes Kyne Perry. Nice return that time for the freshman.
Number 21.
As he leads his team in kickoff returns, and that's a good one, Robert, to get Hawks some pretty good field position out of their own 45.
That was a great one. I don't know if you noticed, he kind of had a little bit of trouble with the catch, juggled it a little bit, and then ran it back for 35 yards. So made up for it very quickly.
Hawks, since Dominic Floyd went out, this Hawk offense hasn't been quite the same. We'll see if they can get it going here. Floyd, the tight end, went out with an injury. here midway in that first period. He had been Witt's primary target earlier. Here's Freeman looking for some running room, and Tyrell on that right side with absolutely nowhere to go. Tackle going to be made by Krishan Springs.
Tackle made by number 7, Krishan Springs.
Winston-Salem native. Loss of 2 back to the 43. Freeman, who's leading this team in rushing, one of the tops in the league, came in with 271 yards tonight. Freeman on the night, only 10 yards and 5 carries. And to bring up 2nd and 12 from the Hawks on that spot. This time 4 receivers in the formation. Here comes the blitz. Chowan picks it up, and the ball's deflected at the line of scrimmage. Almost intercepted by Keyshawn James. It was tipped by Springs, the freshman who came on the blitz, as they were trying to run a little crossing right to Torrey Baker. That was a good defensive package that time. Fayetteville State threw it to Hawks, Robert.
Yeah, the Broncos came and brought the house, and it really looks like Chowan's struggling right now. Hopefully we can break that a little bit. There's been a huge shift in momentum. You can feel it. The Chowan sideline, which is pretty packed over here, has kind of gotten quiet.
Yeah, they have. We got 3/4 of the stands full on the far side. So a pretty good crowd here in the Garrison tonight on this 3rd and 12 for the Hawks. Here they set up a screen, and it doesn't fool Fayetteville State at all. As they threw it right to Freeman, and Freeman was wrapped up by Anthony Harris, the redshirt sophomore out of Bethel, North Carolina.
46, Anthony Harris.
And I tell you what Chowan's doing right now is not fooling this defensive unit from Fayetteville State. So the Hawks with another 3 and out, and here's John Kite to punt it away.
On to punt for the Hawks.
Once again, since Ford's gone out of the lineup, this Chowan offense has really changed here, but I think it's changed because Fayetteville State's defense is playing much better. Here's a bad snap. Knight's going to get sacked back at the 21. As Knight couldn't hold it, and he's going to be buried on the back of the 21-yard line. So after getting off to a quick start and looking pretty efficient, Chowan all of a sudden has stumbled here in a couple of specialty team mistakes, and Fayetteville State's got a chance to take the lead now with the ball at the 21-yard line.
And Knight came up a little hobbled as well. Looks like he's limping his way over on the sideline. You hate to say it, but it really looks like we're derailing a little bit as the Hawks.
Joshua Williams, a freshman, who was the guy who made the play on Knight after he dropped the snap. And it looked like a pretty good snap. He just didn't hold it. So the defense from Chowan back on the field trying to protect this 4-point lead with 12:35 to go in this first half. Anderson again from the gun has a man in motion from right on the left, and they'll fake it to him, give him back to Green the other way. Green started left, stuck it back in right off the tackle, and Pert again on the stop for the Hawk. Remember, this Chowan defense missing the lead tackler, Trey Perry, tonight. He's out with a wrist injury, and also Josh Perry, one of the corners. Green will make his way to the 18-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 7 from that spot.
We've already seen that same play from the Broncos twice tonight.
Green on the evening, just 17 yards on 7 carries, and he's got it again. This time get to the outside, got a great block on the corner. He'll have the first down as he's inside the 10. Here comes a late flag, and let's see, but he got a great block from the tight end, Christopher Brooks. He did. Green, we got a flag on a we got a Chowan injured play on the far sidelines. This game has taken its toll on Chowan physically here. We've already lost Dominic Floyd for tonight.
It's Keandre Randerson that's down over there.
So hopefully they'll be able to get this young man who's injured. Also, Marcus Devin went out early with an injury. We haven't seen him much tonight.
And he was the receiving end of the block, and I don't know if the flag was also on the block or what the flag was for, but he definitely got popped.
That he did. We've yet to see who that injured player was. Let's go over the scoreboard here in the CIAA while we have a moment. Earlier today, St. Aug beat Elizabeth City State out of the River City 24-17. Johnson C. Smith over Lincoln today 50-13. Livingstone went up to Richmond and fell to Virginia Union, a team we'll see here in a couple of weeks, 52-19. The latest score we had from up in Petersburg, Shaw was leading Richmond 7-0. And also with 1:41 to go in the third quarter, Winston-Salem was leading Bowie State 17-12. So some shaking and moving going on in CIAA today, as we have a CIAA matchup here tonight.
Looks like Randerson just sat up, so they got him on his, not on his feet yet.
Let's hope Keandre Randerson's going to be okay. Randerson, a redshirt junior from Jacksonville, Florida.
Unnecessary rubbers. On the offense, number 10, 15-yard penalty. Remain, second down.
Penalty's going to be on Bruce Davis, a wide receiver. And Randerson looks like he's going to be okay. Probably just had the wind knocked at him. He's going to be okay, but it could turn out to be a huge penalty. Because Green had the first down. I'm sure it came after the penalty, after the first down.
If I'm not mistaken, Bruce Davis was the one with the block, so I don't know if they called the penalty on the block.
Let's see if what the official's going to do here. As head official was explaining to Coach Richard Hayes and his staff the call. And he'll come out and explain it to us as well. Here's our head official, Carlos Turan. Well, maybe not. They did not give him the first down. So they moved the football back to the 25. So it'll be 2nd and 14 from that spot. And the Chowan 25 with 11:51 to go, and Chowan trying to hold to a 14-10 lead. They're dumping off the Green underneath. Green lowers his head and gets upended nicely on the far side, and here comes another flag. And a low hit by Chowan. So Chowan gets one, and they give it right back.
And to me, that looked a little bit late. I kind of think that the referees might have missed one earlier when the play was blown dead. They slammed a running back, Freeman, down on the turf. I kind of thought they missed that one. But it's a rough and tough game right here.
They hit on the defense, number 56. Pass to the goal line.
Guilty person was Tamarian Moore, a freshman out of Texas for Chowan. So after getting a nice call the other way, Chowan gives it right back as they'll step it off from the 21-yard line, and it's maybe enough for the first down. Let's see. Flag happy. It's what we've had this first half. That is the 11th penalty in this first half between the two teams.
You know, we mentioned it last week, and we also mentioned it earlier on this game that we expect to see a lot of flags, and we have. Quite frankly, we have.
But that was one that was certainly well deserved. Straight eye backs in behind Anderson. This time they'll get out of it as the ball's placed at the 10-yard line of Chowan. Only 11, I'm sorry. So 1st and 10 now for Fayetteville State. And here's the give to Green, looking for some running room, and he's loose in the end zone for the touchdown. Once again, that's a veteran run. He took his time, looked for the hole when it popped open to the right. He used that quick speed to blast through. Stevie Green's in the end zone, and 16 consecutive points by Fayetteville State. They've taken the lead at Chowan 16-14. As they go 21 yards after the mistake in the punting game, set them up at the 21-yard line in just 4 plays. Got to give them credit, Robert. They got the opportunity and took advantage of it.
Absolutely, and their running back core is outstanding. They have 3 pretty much that they've been mixing up tonight, and all 3 of them have ran very well. This is a good Fayetteville State team.
I knew if once they got it in gear, they were going to be tough. Like I said, they had 12 players back from last year that were all CIAA, all rookie. 17-14, Fayetteville State got their first lead of the night. We're back for the Bronco kickoff after this short timeout. You listen to football and go to CUHawks.com.
Stop by King's Coffee on Main Street for specialty coffees, teas, delicious lunch specials, live entertainment, and more. King's Coffee and Eatery open 6 days a week for breakfast and lunch. Evening hours vary. They're located at 117 East Main Street in Murfreesboro. Rebel Realty is located at 129 East Main Street in Murfreesboro, and they can meet your real estate needs. Are you in the market to purchase a home or rent or sell your home that you currently own? Whether in this zip code or another, Alicia Rebel and her crew are ready to meet your real estate needs. Taking Lamb on to kick off. Cunningham Johnson back deep to receive for the Hawks.
After the Hawks took a 14-0 lead, Fayetteville State has seized control and lead on Hawks here 17-14. Here's a kick to Perry, and Cayenne will field at the 13. Looking for a hole back up the middle, and Manu still on his feet. Finally going to get out across the 35-yard line. Good run by Perry. Young man, 5'9", 190.
Tackle was made.
Hails from just down the road. Lahosky played right here in Hertford County at Hertford County High School under former Chowan tight end Terrence Saxby, who was the head coach there. Terrence has had a good career coaching over at Hertford County High School. Team a little down this year, but he's had some good teams in the past. Had a couple of kids playing on the Division I level. Offsides on Fayetteville State on the kickoff. And so the Hawks will get 5 more yards on the offsides. And so they're starting at 40. I think it's imperative that Chowan get something going here offensively.
Definitely. That huge momentum swing that happened not too long ago, we really need to reverse sides on that. Need to get the crowd back into it. You can hear them a little bit, but not like you could at the beginning of the game.
Chowan's got to be able to run the football here, and all of a sudden, Fayetteville State's pinning their ears back and coming after Whitten is giving him some problems. And here's Freeman with it coming straight ahead. Terrell lowers his head and moves the football out to about the 44-yard line. And let's see where they'll mark it at. Several Fayetteville State guys underneath.
46, Anthony Harris.
Harris on the stop. Young man from out of Bethel, North Carolina. Played at North Pitt High School, which is just about an hour from here. At Troy's Greenville, North Carolina. Gain of 4 to the 44. Hawks looking at 2nd and 6 from their own 44. Here's a man in motion. Baker back through the formation. They'll give it to him on the jet sweep. Baker turns it up and gets drilled just as he turned it up at the 46-yard line. I tell you, this is a quick defense here for the Broncos. Jerome Bentley, the sophomore from Fayetteville, North Carolina, came up and made the play.
So it looks like we tried a little something different there, going with the sweep, and Fayetteville State smelled it out, and they were right on top of it.
So it's going to be 3rd and 4 now for the Hawks from the own 46. They haven't had a first down in quite a while, has this Chowan offense. They're looking at their 3rd 3-and-out, consecutive 3-and-out, but they didn't do something here. Whitt with a long snap count. He still has plenty of time, 9 seconds to snap it. A lot of movement around. They'll bring the blitz. Whitt to over the middle and unable to grab it. It's Paul Gooden. Knocked away from him by Alex Woods, the redshirt sophomore out of Durham, the transfer from out of Maryland. So the Hawks now will kick it away again after having their 3rd consecutive 3-and-out. So after clicking on all cylinders early in this one, the Chowan offense starting to sputter here as we hit the 9:42 mark in the 2nd period. Kite, low snap. He'll handle this one and get away a pretty fair kick. Going to be fielded by Smart at the 21. He's got some green grass in front of him. He's to the 40, to the 45, 50. Kite, the punter, will kick him out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Good return that time by Smart. That was a huge hole on the near side, and somebody got out of the coverage lane here. And I tell you what, Smart made Chowan play. Nice return by Tyus Sharp, the sophomore from out of Winston-Salem. And here's Fayetteville State again in Chowan territory at the 39.
He didn't run into any trouble at all until about 30 yards downfield.
Yeah, he really didn't. And John Kite, the punter, had to make the play as he upended him at the 39 of Chowan. But Jennings will take over for Green at the tailback spot. Anderson starting to get his groove on, the quarterback here tonight. He's 4 of 7 throwing the football for 116 yards. And he'll give it to Jedden up inside. He's got some big room, rumbling all the way to a 30. Jedden, the reigning rookie of the year, offensive rookie of the year from out of Mooresville with a carry up front. He comes in tonight with 152 yards on 20 carries. It's a gain of 9. 2nd and 1. Jetton's got it again. Slicing inside. Still on his feet. In the secondary. Still breaking tackles inside the 15 to the 14-yard line. Good running by the 5'9", 205-pound sophomore Jetton from out of Mooresville for the visitors from out of Fayetteville State. And he'll go out, and Stevie Green will get in. This is the 9th time these two teams have played. They've split the previous 8. Fayetteville State won here a year ago, 27-24. And in the verge of up in their 17-14 lead as they had the football at the 14-yard line of Chowan, looking at 1st and 10. Anderson, quick look to the left, fires in the end zone, and is picked off. And here comes a late flag to hold everything. This may be coming back.
That was way after the play. They could have called pass interference.
Would be, and that's what it's going to be. They're going to get Jamel Hampton, I believe, for the hold. Pass interference coming against Chowan here. And Tim Place is nearly out to the numbers to express his displeasure. You hear some of our Chowan fans down below us on our right side mic not agreeing with his officiating crew on that call. Of course, it was too far away for us to really see it. But that was a nice interception by Hampton. Unfortunately, it's going to get nullified here.
That's 2 pickoffs that the Hawks have had, just outstanding catches, but it looks like this one's going to be wiped right off the board.
And these officials taking an awful long time to administer this penalty, and now they'll step it off. And it's going to be placed at the 2-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal from the 2 here for Fayetteville State after Jamel Hampton had the interception.
And with that late flag, I don't know if he just had some trouble trying to get it out of his waistband and throwing it, or it looked like it came clearly after the play was over.
So Green along with Darrell Walker in the backfield. Here's Green with the football, bouncing off tackles, still on the outside, getting away from another. Green with a great run for the touchdown. That's just poor tackling by this Chowan defense and good running by Stevie Green. I told you, Green is one of the best, if not the best running back in this league, and he's proven it here tonight. That is a terrific 2-yard run. He probably ran 25 or 30 yards, just bouncing off tackles, and finally got his way to the edge and just scooted up the sidelines and got it in from 2 yards out. And 23 straight points now for the Vistas from out of Fayetteville State, as they are looking to up their score to 24-14. Here's the kick from Lamb, and it is good. 24-14, Fayetteville State with the lead here at Chowan. 8:29 to go in the first half. We're back for more after this short timeout. This is Chowan football on GoSeeYourHawks.com.
Farm Bureau agent Melissa Simmons finds the best coverage that kicks in when you need it most. Melissa is in your corner offering auto, home, health, and life insurance options that are convenient for you and your family. Personal and efficient service from the home team. Contact Melissa Simmons, your local Farm Bureau agent, at 585-0084. Real service, real people, real convenience. That's Farm Bureau Insurance.
Boy, Stevie Green with a nice run. This first time, Robert, you've had a chance to see Green. I think you're impressed with him.
Very much so. I don't know if you guys saw that stiff arm on the beginning of that play, but that was monstrous.
24-14. Fayetteville State doesn't look like a team that's played in 2 weeks. Man, they are clicking. Took them a couple of series to get going, but they are playing well now. Here's Perry on the return from the 13. Canes had a busy first half, and this time it's going to go down at about the 26. So the Hawk offense comes back on, looking to get a little bit going here as we have some motions getting out of hand here on the far side as everything's separated here. As we'll come to the near side here and get ready for the offense for Chowan. Need to take a little bit of energy and get this offense going. Bowie State is taking the lead with 1:14 to go over Winston-Salem State, 20-17. Chowan with the ball at their own 26, looking at 1st and 10 from that spot. After going down 10 here. Here's White, or Whit that is, rolling to his right. Now goes back left, looking to do something with it. Nobody's in the coverage. Now Gooden breaks open and he dropped it. Whit running for his life and lost himself some time, and Gooden couldn't hold it up at the 46. Unusual for Paul. He's usually pretty sure-handed as the redshirt senior out of Sacramento, California, but that time couldn't hold it, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10.
And you know what scares me a little bit for the Hawks is that those screen plays that they were running earlier that were working pretty well, where Witts just rolled out, threw it to the flat, were working very well through the whole first quarter. And it looks like those plays are not working as well right now, and the running game still hasn't picked up.
And they have not gone to the tight end, Austin Edwards, since he took the place of Dominic Ford. He had 2 big catches early. And here's Freeman with the football. Terrell running straight ahead, trips up as he crosses at 30. Let's see where they're going to spot this football. So another 3rd down staring Chowan in the face. Chowan tonight on 3rd down is 1 of 5. And they'll have it at their own 31.
This one looks like it's about 3rd and 5, a little bit closer distance than they've been having all night. Let's see if they can convert this one.
East Carolina comes back with a late field goal to beat Old Dominion, 37-35. It's a big win for Scotty Montgomery and his company down in Greenville over an Old Dominion team that beat Virginia Tech last week. Here's Whit to pass, and pass is caught by Baker for the 1st down. Baker is going to go down at the 39-yard line. He was working around a defender here on the near side, and in defense was Jerome Bentley. So Chowan gets a much-needed 3rd down conversion. First one they've had in quite some time.
I don't know about you, Gaddis, but I really love that little rub play. You've seen it a lot at the Division I level. Schools like Clemson, Alabama run it. Almost like a screen play, and that's what we just saw from the Hawks.
Strip receivers bundled up on the far side for the Hawks on 1st and 10 from their own 39. Whit steps up in the pocket, gets hit, so he lets it go, but Baker's got it in Fayetteville State territory to the 37. Whit took a pretty good hit as he let it go, but he got it right on the money to the breaking Baker across the field. And that's a Chowan 1st down at Fayetteville State 36. That's the first time they've been back in Fayetteville State territory since early in this football game of the Hawks.
Hawks are starting to find something.
Gain of 25 on the play. Sets up the Hawks at the 36. There's a Whit on the keeper. He faked it to Freeman. They got a flag coming on the far side, way on the far side, which means might be too many men on the field. It came from the guy on the far side. And now here comes another late flag. As we got some, boy, you can hear the Chowan fans down below us here getting a little rowdy here. Not sure what the indication is. I think Fayetteville State might have had too many men on the field when it flagged it threw them to the other side. So Whit had the 1st down as he ran it all the way to the 25-yard line. So we'll see how this one unfolds here.
And Whit was pushed down at the end. I don't know if you saw that. I know we got some acting classes here at Chowan. Now it really looked like it paid off a little bit.
But this could be offsetting. We'll see if that, unless that's a dead ball. As the official's going to confer out in midfield. NC State a winner today over Virginia. Also Wake Forest who went over Rice today. Duke and Virginia Tech getting set to go at it up in Durham tonight.
Duke having a pretty good year.
Yes, they are. Undefeated on the season. As they are scoreless, only 3 minutes into that one up in Durham tonight. Here in the CIAA, St. Aug, Johnson C. Smith, Virginia Union all winners thus far. Bowie State was leading Winston-Salem State late in that ball game at Maryland. They came back and took the lead late. And here's our head official. That's Delarosa's second personal foul, and does that get him ejected?
I think he should be gone.
Let's see if it is.
Ejection, right?
Let's see if it is. I believe it is. Maybe not.
Didn't make any mention of it, but 2 personal fouls leads to an ejection, if I'm not mistaken.
He's coming back in the lineup here. So the penalty and a nice run by Whit will move the football to the Fayetteville State 11-yard line.
And why? I wonder why he's not ejected from this game.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe that's not what we thought it was. Anyway, 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line of Fayetteville State for the Hawks. 6:42 to go in the half. Edwards in motion. They'll give it to Freeman. Freeman looking for some running. Well, it's going to be Witt on the keeper. Witt's got some room. Can he get to the end zone? He dives in, hits the pylon. Waits for the official to make the call, and it is a... Still haven't seen the official make an indication whether it's a touchdown or not. Well, it is a touchdown. I never saw a official make an indication, but they put the 6 points on the board, so Witt and company get it in. Bryce Witt with a great fake to Freeman that drew the defense to the left. He came to the right and dove for the pylon from 11 yards out, and the Hawks closed within 4.
I believe our PA announcer called the touchdown before the referee.
Here's Brooks with an extra point attempt, and it sails through. 24-21, 6:32 to go in the first half. Here are the Hawks on the short end of it here at the Barrel. Back for the Chowan kickoff after the short timeout with Chowan football on GoSeeYourHawks.com.
With down-home service and cutting-edge design, Daniel and his crew will meet any of your advertising and promoting needs. Contact Stitch Count at 332-5394 and ask for me. Let Stitch Count help you grow your business or organization. PNC Bank is a proud game-day sponsor located at 137 East Main Street. Let PNC help you with your banking needs. With PNC, make every ATM in the world free. Visit PNC.com or visit a local branch on Main Street today. Sign up for a checking account that works harder for you. Jackson Brooks for the kickoff for the Hawks.
That was a 74-yard drive with 6 plays here for Chowan. As Brandon Smith will go back deep along with Dunshell Jetton. As Jackson Brooks had it teed up to kick it away after the Bryce Witt 11-yard touchdown run. For Bryce, that is his 4th rushing touchdown this season. Here's Smith with it at the 12. Smith trying to get to the far side. He's shown some good speed and does it here. Finally, the Hawks get him down at about the 35-yard line. So the Chowan defense back on the field. They've had trouble slowing down this Fayetteville State offense since about midway in the first quarter. Let's see if they can come up with a couple of big plays here.
Tell you what, that was a much-needed drive by the Hawks, getting some points on the board.
Setting up shop at the 34 will be the Broncos, clad in all white tonight with the blue numerals and the blue headgear. Oh, the white headgear, I'm sorry, with the blue Bronco on the side. Both of these teams wearing the All Carolina sticker on their helmet tonight that's come out since Hurricane Florence to represent our state and the state of South Carolina as well. Here's Green with the football, looking for some running, breaking tackles, and makes his way to the 37. Boy, the one thing about Stevie Green, he's not very big in stature when you look at him. And Green at 6'1", 205, he just does a good job of making people miss. And you got to wrap him to get him to the turf. It's a gain of 3 out to the 37.
He's definitely shifty, but he also runs downhill.
This time 2 backs in the backfield as Walker joins Green as Anderson will change the play here at the line of scrimmage. Under 6 minutes to go in the first half. A good one here in the CIAA. It was Chowan leading 24-21. Here's Anderson looking to the right side, and the pass is caught. No, it's going to bounce. Diving effort here by Andre Wilson. Official was right there on the call. Wilson tried to sell it.
For number 16, Tyus Sharp.
Wilson listed on the, correction, it's Tyus Sharp, I'm sorry. I'm going to tell you, some good-looking young players on this team. Just a sophomore is Sharp. Walker out to line up as they bring in another split in as Jalen Javin in the lineup now. 3 receivers to the left on his 3rd and 7 from the 37 for the Broncos. So they move it to the east goal here at Chowan, left to right on your computer screen, a dial at home, whatever how you want to call it. They run the little delay to Green. Green trying to get to the outside. Hawks have him cornered up, and they can't get a hold of him. Gordy had him, and Green still going down the near side. Chowan just not doing a very good job of tackling Green. They had him pinned up behind the line of scrimmage, and you just got to wrap him here. Chowan's not doing a very good job here.
Very subpar tackling by the Hawks. They had him in the backfield. About 4 or 5 Hawks had a shot at him and just let him go right by him.
Turns out to be a 10-yard gain by the Shifty Green. That's a good piece of running. Man, we've seen him make some great runs tonight. Love watching Stevie Green play.
Especially when the Hawks give him second chance opportunities like that. And, that's usually not Chowan's type of game. They usually wrap up pretty well.
He's 11 rushes now for 40 yards, but a couple of big key runs tonight. He's got it again. And Chowan trying to get him down. This time they'll get him at the 48. Down around his ankles for the Hawks. Going to be Reggie Lee, the redshirt senior from Durham, North Carolina. He also played at that Poden Hillside program. So to be second and they'll call it right down the line of scrimmage, so no gain for Green. There's a lot of people moving in on the lineup here for the Broncos as Gillespie will get in the lineup now for Green on his 2nd and 10 from the 47 for Fayetteville State. Anderson once again has getting the play call in from the sidelines with his full receiver set. He'll put Gillespie to his left now. Gillespie, the transfer from East Carolina, is going to get it, go up inside. He bounces off a tackler and still on his feet. He'll get the first down, I believe. Gillespie has great wheels, as does the young man from out of Wallace, North Carolina. Once again, I told you earlier, he played at a very good Wallace Rose Hill program that won 3 consecutive 1A state championships when he was part of that team. He's going to come up about a yard shy of the first down. So they'll bring up 3rd and 1 from the Chowan 44 for the Broncos as we hit the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. Anderson again from the gun. And he'll keep it himself on the real reverse, and David Harden will chase him down. They ran the bootleg to the far side, and Anderson couldn't get away from Pert and also David Harden.
And just when we were criticizing the Hawks' tackling ability, huge stop in the backfield.
And it's a loss of a couple to the 46 of Chowan, so it'll bring up 4th down, and looks like Coach Richard Hayes is going to go for it now with his team up in front by 3 late in this first half. Now he changes his mind, probably going to punt it away. That's a big play by Pert and David Harden on the far side against Anderson.
Absolutely.
So Jacob Young's on to punt it away here for Fayetteville State. Both teams having a tough time getting their personnel on the field here. And here's a snap. Young's going to kick it away. Good spiraling line drive kick, and
there's a flag
before we can get going. And somebody may not have been set. Let's see. I think it's going to be a false start coming here against Fayetteville State.
Just looked jumbled from the beginning.
And it will be a false start against Fayetteville State. It's good and it's back deep, and Paul had made the fair catch around the 10-yard line.
I don't know if you saw it, but some of those defensive linemen turned into some Olympic sprinters trying to get off the field.
Yes, they did. Both teams running personnel in and out here tonight. And for Fayetteville State, probably doing a little more than they had because, these kids have been practicing up until this week for a couple of weeks. Probably running in and out just to give these guys a breather. Because, you get in game shape, then you go out for a couple of weeks. It takes a while to get back in game shape. But this is a deep, talented Fayetteville State team that Chowan's having difficulties with, trailing 24-21 with 3 minutes to go in the first half. Still having trouble getting a lot of people on the field, Fayetteville State.
Looks like things are starting to sway back a little bit towards the Hawks, though.
We'll see as Jacob Young to punt it away to Gooden. Chowan doesn't get much rush as the ball was bobbled by Young, and it goes off his foot and will go out of bounds near the 24-yard line of Chowan. Once again, we'll be with you next Saturday afternoon as the Hawks come home for the 3rd consecutive week as they'll play host to Bowie State. Bowie State picked the win, picked the challenge for the top slot along with Virginia State here in the Northern Division. It'll be Military First Responders Day here at Chowan. And so if you're retired or active members with a valid ID in our military or first responder, you receive free admission to the game. We'll also recognize anybody who's represented in the military or first responder in attendance at halftime of that game. So the Hawks move on their own 24, down three. Here's Whit. Dumps it off far side. We'll just threw it incomplete. He just ran out of real estate and just dumps it off. He was out of the pocket. He's able to throw it away.
Pretty smart play there by Witz.
That'll stop the clock with 2:31 to go in the half. Coming up at halftime, we'll try to give you some updates from the CIAA scoreboard and more here at halftime. So 2nd and 10, and stats as well. Get you ready for the second half here from Murfreesboro tonight. And Whit fakes it to Freeman. The ball pops loose, and Chowan's going to get on it. As Whit got hit just as he let it go, and coming through is the All-CIAA defensive tackle, Jalen Kosar, young man from out of Charlotte. Fortunately, Donald Boone's back to cover up for Chowan as the ball is knocked out of Whit's hand back at the 18-yard line.
I don't think Whit saw him at all.
That's going to be a loss of 6. It'll bring up 3rd and 16 now for Chowan back on their own 19-yard line. So we're inside of 2 minutes to go in the half. Boy, if nothing else, to get a first down to keep the Fayetteville State offense off the field, because they're going to probably have a pretty short field if Chowan doesn't convert here. Whit to pass. Has time. Now rolls out to his right. Fires far side. Catch is made, but well shy of the first down is going to be Torrey Baker as he's pushed out of bounds up near the 30-yard line. But it does give Chowan a little more breathing room for John Kite, the punting unit, to come on and kick it away. As Baker's out of bounds, and he stopped the clock when he went out of bounds. While at it 29, it's a gain of 13 on play, so it'll be 4th and 6. Here's Kite to punt it away.
Back for Fayetteville State, number 16, Ty Sharp.
Here's Sharp to, well, Kite. Here's a late flag. Did Fayetteville State have too many men on the field? As Kite guy has it go off his side of his foot.
And Fayetteville State just looked confused.
Yeah, Ty Sharp, who was a deep back, was hollering at his teammates. And let's see, it's going to be illegal substitution, I think, here for Fayetteville State. So Tim Place might have a decision to make here, unless this is enough for the first down. Let's see.
Illegal substitution on the receiving team. 5-yard penalty. First down, Chowan.
So the Hawks get a first down on it.
That's a huge break.
It is a huge break. Now can Chowan capitalize with 1:21 left. 24-21, Fayetteville State with a lead here in Murfreesboro. Remember, this game last year was 27-24.
At the very least, if you're Chowan, you're going to want to stay on the field for the whole minute and 21 seconds.
I tell you what, I know a little different angle from here, but if I'm Richard Hayes, I would ask for a measurement there. It looked awful closer to 6 yards than it did 5 to me. But anyway, it's a 1st and 10 for the Hawks from their own 34. Whit again working from the pistol set as he'll drop straight back. We got a false start coming here against Chowan, I believe. And what has been a flag-happy first half here from both of these teams, as they'll move it back to the 29-yard line. Hawks didn't draw a lot of penalties last week, but they're making up for it this week.
Looks like that's the 17th penalty of the night.
Yeah, 12 of those belong to Fayetteville State for 90 yards. So we got whistles everywhere here. Let's see what it's all about. Timeout, Fayetteville State. We'll take one with them with a minute and 20 to go. Chowan with the football, looking at 1st and 15 from their own 29. We return by the Hawks trail 24-21 with 1:20 to go in the half.
Memorial Drive in Ahoskie. Looking for a great post-game meal in a family-friendly environment? Head over to Carolina Barbecue and Chicken in Ahoskie. Call ahead for a takeout order on the way home, or contact them about their game day tailgating specials at 332-8442. That's Carolina Barbecue and Chicken of Ahoskie.
Well, back to action after the Fayetteville State timeout. I think it's that last timeout of the half. So the Hawks look at 1st and 15 for their own 29-yard lines. With 80 seconds away from halftime. Witt dropping way back. Now steps up and fires for Watkins. He's got it for the first down. Making the tackle is Alex Wood, the redshirt sophomore, but Witt rolling out, buying himself some time, and he gets it to Watkins, who makes his first catch of the night up at the 47. 13-yard pass play from Witt to Watkins.
And we spoke about it a little last week. It's just those broken plays where it almost looks like backyard football. That's where it seems like Witt makes most of his damage.
He's looking to pass again. Now rolling to his right. Has good wide open across the middle. Paul loses one defender. He's to the 30. That's Fayetteville State to the 25. Caught from behind and goes down to the 21. That's Paul Gooden with a nice catch, and he comes up a little gimpy. Looked like he fell. Looks like he's going to be all right. Looked like he just got that leg caught up from underneath him. And Chowan has asked for a timeout. Big play from Witt to the Gooden coming across the field. As the Hawks move it from the 47 all the way down to the Fayetteville State 21-yard line. Woods making the play for Fayetteville State after a nice piece of running that time by Paul Gooden.
Subway on Main Street in Murfreesboro, reminding you to eat fresh. McPherson Beverage Company, official beverage supplier for Chowan.
Richard Hayes is having a little discussion with the officiating crew on the far side. I saw him indicate a hold call. He thought Chowan might have been holding on that play. Witt rolled out. Anyway, it's a completion down to the 21-yard line of Fayetteville State.
All your realty needs. PNC Bank, located on Main Street in Murfreesboro. Integrated Family Services.
Coming up at halftime, we'll once again give you the stats from the first half. Catch up with the CIAA scoreboard and maybe some other D2 scores this afternoon. Look across the Division I landscape as well.
Looks like Gooden's all right. He's going to stay in there.
Not any major upsets from what I've seen on the Division I level today, but we'll see it here coming up at halftime. Pretty good crowd on hand here tonight. You see some of the folks sitting out behind the fenced area up on the hill here on the west end. Hawks with it with 51 seconds to go in the half. Down 24-21. Witt again to pass. Witt has had a big half throwing the football. He's going to get sacked. Caught from behind and sacked by Keshawn James. And Witt's going to come from behind and get the sack. And
Witt was sacked on the play.
And let's see the Chowan get a timeout. They must have. They stopped the clock with 41 seconds to go. Big play by James to come in from behind and get the sack on Witt.
The past two plays, I don't know if you saw it, Gaddis, but I've seen some extracurricular activity. They're going to need to watch out before they get another flag.
Final score, Bowie State has beaten Winston-Salem State tonight 20-17. So Bowie will come here next week with a pretty good head of steam and a 4-1 record, a 2-0 league record. As they came from behind in the third quarter. Up in Petersburg, Shaw and Virginia State knotted at 7. Remember, Shaw was scheduled to play Chowan the third game of the year, and that game got Hurricane Florence out. It's been added to the end of the schedule. If neither team makes the CIAA championship, I guess they'll play that game. So the loss on the sack is back to the 28. So the Hawks look at 2nd and 18 from that spot. Three receivers left, one to the right here for the Chowan. Freeman and Witt make up the Chowan backfield with 41 seconds to go from the 28-yard line of Fayetteville State. Here comes the blitz again. Witt steps up in the pocket, dumps it off far side. Freeman's got it to the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Terrell Freeman. Freeman with a nice run. He just slipped out of the backfield and nobody from Fayetteville State saw him. And Freeman takes it in from 28 yards out. And the Hawks retake the lead with 30.9 seconds to go in the half. What a drive here, administered by Bryce Witt. But Robert, how big was that illegal participation penalty against Fayetteville State? Oh man, it comes back to haunt the Broncos here. Here's Jackson Brooks to try to make it a 4-point advantage for Chowan. Snap, spot, kick by Brooks. It's on its way, and it is perfect. 28-24, Chowan with the lead with 30 seconds to go in the half. Bryce Witt has been spectacular. He got a little bit low there early in this quarter, but he's 14 of 20 tonight for 222 yards. He's strong for one touchdown and run for another one. And he's run for 55 yards tonight. So he's accounted for 277 of the yards tonight, passing and running. So he has been really good tonight, has Bryce Witt.
You know, we always talk about turning points, and it, like you mentioned earlier, it really seemed like that illegal substitution was a huge turning point. We go from being down 4 and the Broncos about to get the ball back in pretty good field position to going up 4.
Would have had a minute to do something with it, and prolific as their offense has been in the first half, who knows what could have happened. Now you got to be careful because Brandon Smith and Jetton are really dangerous returners back on this kickoff with 30.9 seconds to go in the half. It's what has been a long first half here. So set to come forward is going to be Jackson Brooks. A freshman out of Elon, North Carolina. Played at a good program as well, Western Alamance High School. Here's a low bouncing kick, and the ball's going to go all the way back to Brandon Smith at about the 12. Hit level about the 30.
Absolutely popped.
Big hit by Pert again,
and he's still down.
Pert with a big lick that time on Brandon Smith. And Fayetteville State will have 25 seconds to try to do something with it. Well, if you're Richard Hayes, you're going to get the football to start the second half. I think if I'm here, I'll take a knee and get out of here and be satisfied being down only 4 here at the break. We'll see what Coach Richard Hayes and his staff elects to do here. Hawks have been up by 14, been down by as many as 10. They lead here by 4. With 25.3 seconds to go in the half.
Looks like they're going to play it through.
And Gillespie comes on a little bit late. Now he'll go back out. And here's a legal substitution coming here. The left game here against Fayetteville State, what it's going to be.
And now you might think about taking a knee.
It's going to move you back to the 24. Once again, waiting for our head official, Mr. Turan, to indicate delay of game against Fayetteville State. Carlos Turan, a head official tonight, has been a busy guy. He spent about as much airtime on our broadcast as we have tonight. 1st and 15 from the 24-yard line in Fayetteville State. He'll let Green have it. Green is going to be cornered up and dropped at about the 29.
Stevie Green on the carry.
Several Hawks in on a stop with Brian. I'll see Marquise Ball went in on the stop. And Fayetteville State's just going to let it run out. Well, it's been a exciting first half here, and it's been filled with penalties, but been filled with some good play. The Hawks, who led 14-0, then fell down by 10, go to the locker room with 2 late touchdowns to lead it, 28-24. We'll take a break, come back, give you the numbers from the first half, get you some scores from the CIAA and more here at halftime from Garrison Stadium, where the Hawks have a 28-24 lead here at the break. And you're listening to it on GoCUHawks.com.
2018-2019 Miss Chowan University. Each year since joining the CIAA, Chowan has crowned a new Miss Chowan. The students, faculty, and staff of Chowan elect their queen from applicants that demonstrate excellence in scholarship, service, and dedication to Chowan University. The winner of today's competition will go on to compete for Miss CIAA at the CIAA basketball tournament in Charlotte, North Carolina, February 26th through March the 2nd. Here are your candidates for Miss Chowan University 2018-2019. First, we have Alexis Burke. She is the daughter of Davy and Valerie Burke. Alexis is a senior criminal justice major from Lawrenceville, Virginia. Alexis is a member of the Chowan Sapphires, a resident assistant, Alpha Phi Sigma Honor Society, Pi Gamma Mu Honor Society, and a SAC representative. Alexis will be graduating in May 2019. Next, we have Ms. Amber Cunningham, a history major from Charlotte, North Carolina. Amber is the daughter of Deline Gaddison and Jerry Cunningham. Amber is a ministry chaplain, CCSA scholar, a member of NAACP, Honors College, Rotaract Club, and the History Club. Amber plans to graduate from Chowan in May 2019. Next, we have Miss Adriana Harris, a senior psychology major from Raleigh, North Carolina. Adriana is the daughter of Monica Harris. She is a ministry chaplain, a member of the Daughters of the Most High Praise Dance, Instruments of Praise Gospel Choir, Psychology Club, a CCSA scholar, and Pi Gamma Mu Honor Society member. Adriana will graduate in May 2019. Let's give a round of applause to all of our candidates. On the field to crown this year's Miss Chowan is President Kirk Peterson and Mrs. Peterson and former 2017-2018 Miss Chowan University, LaKayla Brown. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2018-2019 Miss Chowan University is Alexis Burke.
Back here at Chowan, you might hear in our background here, we want to let it play
one more round of applause.
We want to let play the Miss Chowan. You might have heard that going on as we get back to you at halftime tonight. As the Hawks here at the break, leading 28-24. Hawks jump in front 14-0 early at the 8-12 mark on a two-pass plays, one to Dominic Ford of 31 yards and to Paul Gooden of 3 yards. It looked like the Hawks were in for clear sailing, but Fayetteville State got their legs under it and scored at the 2-12 mark, and it started a 24-point barrage here for Fayetteville State. They came back to take the lead with 8:29 to go in the half. Hawks came back to pull within 3 with 6:32 to go in the half on a Bryce Whip 11-yard run, and then with 31 seconds to go in the half, Terrell Freeman with a 28-yard pass from Bryce Whip. Jackson Brooks makes the extra point, and we're here with the Hawks a 28-24 lead at the break. Let's take a look at the numbers here in the first half. Chowan rushing 19 times for 55 yards. They get 15 of 21 passing from Witt for 250 yards. So the Hawks with 305 yards total offense. in the first half. For Fayetteville State, they rushed it 25 times for 97 yards, 4 of 8 passing, 1 interception for 116 yards, so 213 total yards here for the Broncos in the first half. Time of possession, Chowan with a little more time, 15 minutes and 59 seconds. Fayetteville State 14 minutes and 1 second. Third down conversions, Chowan 2 of 7. Fayetteville State 3 of 6. Chowan 0 of 1 on fourth down conversions. Fayetteville State did not try one. In the red zone, both teams pretty efficient tonight. Fayetteville State 3 of 3. Chowan 2 of 2. Penalty lines it's been a busy first half for the guys in the stripes tonight. Fayetteville State's been flagged 13 times for 95 yards. Chowan 6 times for 63 yards. At the break, Chowan out in front 28-24. We'll take another break, come back and get the individual numbers from the first half. As two of the best players in the league having a good first half, Bryce Witt from Chowan, Stevie Green from Fayetteville State. We'll tell you those numbers when we return here to Garrison Stadium. Here at the half, the Hawks out in front 28-24. Candace Hodges back with you here at halftime. I promised you the individual numbers. Well, Chowan leads at 28-24. Bryce Wood in his first half, leading rusher for the Hawks, 8 carries for 55 yards and a touchdown. Terrell Freeman, 8 carries for 17 yards. Switt hit 15 of 21 passes, 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. Torrey Baker, Paul Gooden, Terrell Freeman all with 3 catches each. Tight end Dominique Floyd had 2 catches early before injuring his knee, and he will not return. For Fayetteville State, Stevie Green, 15 carries, 58 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Johnny Gillespie, 3 carries, 26 yards. Donshell Jedden, 3 carries, 23 yards. Colin Anderson, the quarterback, 4 of 8, 1 interception, 116 yards. Of course, the big one was a big touchdown to Brandon Pearson Board at 58 yards. Pearson Board with 1 catch, as did Chris Brooks, Javin. Jalen Gabbard and Stevie Green in the first half. Punting-wise, the Hawks punted it 3 times tonight, and Fayetteville State on lead twice. Leading tackles for the Hawks, Jacob Pert with 7 tackles, Brian Bryant and Marquise Ball with 5 tackles each, Connor O'Brien with 4, Elvin Bellarusa, the outstanding corner for Fayetteville State, the leader with 6 tackles, Broderick Cottle, the strong safety, with 5. That's all your numbers from here to Ham. We'll take one final timeout and come back and get you ready for the second half. Here from the barrel, both teams starting to make their way back on the playing surface here at Garrison Stadium, a longtime host of Chowan football here on the grounds here of Garrison Stadium, soon to be moved here. They're going to move this stadium and tear it down and make way for a student center and a cafeteria, and move the football stadium over behind the Helm Center, where they'll share the football stadium with lacrosse and soccer, put field turf in, but it's a ways down the road. Not sure if that date has been set when that move's going to be, but Garrison's going to go away. And it's been here for a long time. We're back to the Garrison after the short timeout, as both teams, like I said, are making their way back on the field. Hawks with a 4-point lead at 28-24. And you're listening to them on GoSeeYouHawks.com.
To support the Coach to Cure MD program. All the Chowan coaches are wearing patches on their sleeves today to raise awareness for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. To donate $10 to Coach to Cure MD, text the word CURE to 50555. You can also visit CoachToCureMD.org to make a donation.
Well, it's set to start the second half. Caddis Hodges alongside Robert Burns here to start the second half. Everybody's gone final with the exception of this one and the Shaw-Fayetteville State game tonight. Bowie State came from behind to beat Winston-Salem tonight, 20-17. So Bowie goes to 4-1. We'll see the Bulldogs here next Saturday afternoon. And also Shaw and Virginia State. Virginia State in the third quarter leading Shaw 14-10. That game kicked off the same time as this one did. St. Aug went to Elizabeth City State today and beat the Vikings of Elizabeth City State 24-17. Johnson C. Smith all over Lincoln up in Pennsylvania 50-13. Virginia Union, who will be here in a couple of weeks, defeated Livingstone 52-19. And once again, Bowie beat Winston-Salem 20-17. So Jackson Brooks has his teed off to get this second half going. Huck's going to need another good second half, Robert, to pull this one out.
Absolutely. They got hot towards the end, which is always good news, but going into halftime, that kind of switches everything around. It's like a restart, and it seems like there's something going on down at midfield right about now.
Yeah, the officials are talking it over here. It's kind of interesting. I've been doing games here a long, long time and came to games here when I was a teenager and before I got in the broadcast business. And the last 2 weeks is the first time I've ever seen a checkerboard end zone at Garrison Stadium, which is pretty cool, to be honest.
Absolutely. It takes a lot of time to do stuff like that.
Yes, it does. Of course, if you get it down good, it'll hold up pretty good, especially if you don't have much rain on it, which we've had a couple of rains this week, but it looks like this week's going to be pretty clear as far as the weather is concerned.
Be nice to have some sunny days coming up.
It's been a beautiful day today here in northeastern North Carolina, maybe one of the best days of the year. Tomorrow is supposed to be a carbon copy. Stepped outside a few moments ago. It's probably around 67, 68 degrees here. Perfect football weather. And Jackson Brooks is ready to get our second half started. And he will kick it off as we get underway here in the second half. Oaks trying to get to 2-2. Fayetteville State at 2-1. Here's Brandon Smith with it from the 8. Steps away from the tackler, still on his feet. Goes to the far sidelines and finally gets knocked down at the 35-yard line. So we'll see what Fayetteville State has worked on here at halftime offensively, as they will get the ball here to start the second half at their own 34-yard line.
Brandon Smith on the return, tackled by
Fayetteville State, which is playing their first game since their Wingate game back on September the 8th through the Hurricane Florence. And they lost 2 games during that time span. And they're playing for the first time tonight since that time. And, of course, they'll be on the road again next week at Shaw. They are defending Southern Division champions and then picked to win it again this year. So Colin Anderson, who's gone all the way at quarterback, will give it near side coming to Donshell Jetton, who's got some running room and tripped up as a flag comes out. And making a nice tackle for the Hawks going to be Marquise Baldwin. And if Baldwin doesn't make that tackle, there was a lot of real estate out in front of Donshell Jetton. As we had 19 penalty flags to start in the first half. We had start the second half with a penalty on the very first offensive play, and it's going to get against Fayetteville State, who's just been flagged for the 14th time tonight. And, I think that has a tendency, Robert, to lend a little bit that Fayetteville State's been out of practice for a couple of weeks and just got back to practice this week. Not being in rhythm, not being fine-tuned. I think that has lent a hand to some of their penalties here tonight.
As you mentioned earlier, that's about 20 days since they played their last game, which is quite a long time in college football.
Yeah, they were 2 weeks without any practice at all. So back from the 25, they'll spin it out on a little flat pass on the inside. Gillespie's going to be hit by Pert and pushed out of bounds up near the 18-yard line, up to near the 28-yard line.
And Trio Pearson on the stop.
And be a gain of about 4, so it'll bring up second and about 17 now for Fayetteville State from their own 28-yard line.
If I had to guess, it was something said to the Chowan defense about making sure you're wrapping up people at halftime, because they've came out this first drive and looked a lot better. 2 plays in a row that they've swarmed to the ball. Looks like the Chowan that we were used to seeing.
Redshirt junior Colin Anderson, 6'5", 230. He's gone all the way at quarterback for the Broncos. He'll look to pass here. Just the ninth time he's thrown it tonight, and it's well off the mark. He was trying to stick it downfield to Brandon Pearson Boyd. He hit for a 58-yard touchdown pass early, but Anderson with a little bit too much mustard on it and overthrows Pearson Boyd, and that'll bring up third down. First half, third down efficiency tonight for Fayetteville State has been 3 of 6, so they've converted on half of the third down opportunities tonight. We'll look at one here on 3rd and 16, they call it, from the 28-yard line. They're on 28. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gillespie is coming to line up, and he is to the left of Anderson, who works from the shotgun. A long game thus far here tonight. We got a long ways to go. Anderson steps into the pocket, dumps it off to Gillespie. Can the Hawks pin him there? They do. Nice tackle again by Ball. Marquis having a big night tonight, and Gillespie's a guy you cannot, Robert, let get any room because this kid can really fly.
You know, as he's already showed this game, he's quick and he's explosive, and he's going to hurt you if he gets open room, and that's pretty obvious. You know, he transferred from East Carolina, so.
A gain of only 4, so it'll bring up 4th and 13, and here's Jacob Young to punt it away. Young punted twice in the first half for a 31-yard average. Hawks put pressure on, but Young gets it away, his best kick of the night. And it's going to take a nice roll for him, and finally going to be down at about the 20. That's a big-time kick for Jacob Young. He got the right spiral that time, and it goes all the way down to the 21-yard line of Chowan.
And I think that would have bounced a little bit further, but it looked like one of the Fayetteville State players thought that it hit the Hawks receiver, and that's why he jumped on it.
That is a 47-yard kick for Young. So the Hawks get their first opportunity at it to add to this 28-24 lead from their own 21-yard line. Up in front, 28-24, early here in the third period. Freeman will stand directly behind Bryce Witt, standing quarterback from the Hawks, and Freeman's going to get the call. He'll slip up inside, and he'll run right into the strong safety on the play, Nigel Peel from Greensboro's Dudley High School. Another top program here in the state. I tell you, I like what Coach Hayes has done. He's really targeted some of the best high school programs in the state. He's picked up a lot of good kids, and it shows about how well this team plays and the depth that they have. Gain of only a couple from 23 to bring up 2nd and 8 for the Hawks who quickly get to the line of scrimmage. Freeman's going to hold it there. Witt's going to fake it and fire near side. Got a wide open Paul Gooden at the 25 to the 30. 35, 6-1 defender. And fumbles the football away, and we got a flag coming back as the ball went out of Baker's hands and is picked off just before going out of bounds by the defender here on the near side. That was a freak play as Baker was bouncing, as Gooden was fighting for some yardage, and as he started to go out of bounds, he lost control of it, went right into the hands of the defensive back, Alex Wood. And it happened right in front of the Chowan bench. There was a block in the back on the play. So Fayetteville State will have it at the Chowan 44-yard line. After the fumble here by Gooden. Boy, that was an unusual play, Rob.
And you know, we don't have a very good view up here, but it almost looked like he stepped out and then lost the ball, but I don't think that's the case because the Chowan sideline would have been pretty adamant right now.
I agree, because it happened right in front of the Chowan bench. That's a pretty good call by the official who came from behind to make that call. It's a pretty good move here. Walker and Green joined Anderson in the backfield. And it's first and 10 from the Chowan 44 for the Broncos. And Green with it, trying to get to the outside. He gets away from a tackler, and finally getting him down. It's got to be Tyler Brembry on the play. As Burke came in and dove at Green, and he just sidestepped him. Really like the way this young man runs, and he reaches over and helps up Brembry on the play. Stevie Green played at Washington High School. Washington High School just down the road here, Robert. You're probably not familiar with it, but their mascot is the Pam Pack. The gain is to the 41, a gain of 3, so it's 2nd and 8 now for the Broncos moving to the east goal here at Garrison Stadium. And Green has got it again, and Green's got some running room. He's in the secondary. Hawks give chase. Here's Green all the way to the 5-yard line. Save and a touchdown for the Hawks is going to be George Parker. And a nice seam right down the hash mark for Stevie Green. And once he got into the open, it was just a matter of Chowan could chase him down as we got an injured player here from Fayetteville State, and that is Greg Brooks.
redshirt freshman offensive lineman, 6'3", 320 pounds.
This game is starting to look a lot like the game a year ago when Chowan just did not do a good job of taking care of the football and ended up losing 27-24. Let's hope Brooks is okay. As the training staff from Fayetteville State will help him get to his feet and hope the young man's going to be all right. Looks like he's holding that right shoulder. Pretty good size young man. You mentioned it. 6'3", 320. And just a red shirt freshman. There's a lot of young kids, got a good-looking young kids on this team from Fayetteville State.
You know, hopefully that play was just a freak play, you know, where Chowan loses the ball, and, you know, that gives the Broncos pretty good field position. Hopefully nothing like that's going to happen again.
But Green will run all the way down to the 4-yard line. So it's a run of 37 yards for the Washington, North Carolina junior.
What was their mascot again?
Pam Pack.
Can you explain what that is to me?
I cannot. But it's the Pam Pack. As they bring a fullback in the lineup, and that's James Trensow, the sophomore from out of Winston-Salem. When we get going, we got another flag here. As the both linesmen and the head linesman from the far side come in and converge both through the flag. Let's see what's going to be on. And it's going to be against Chowan, I believe. Looks like the Hawks might have jumped, or let's see what the deal is here. Officials kind of conferring to make sure they get the penalty on the right number person as they discuss about it. It's going to be a false start, I believe, against Fayetteville State, as they've just indicated. And it will be.
And the referees are definitely earning their paycheck tonight. They've been busy men out there.
It's one thing the guys are going to have to do is wash their flags when they get home. I'm not saying they're doing a bad job. I'm just saying they having to call a lot of penalties tonight. Let me make that clear. So the ball's moved back to the 9. It'll be first and goal from the 9 from that spot for the Broncos. They try to retake the lead. Here's Green with a nice hole on the left side, but it goes quicker. Looked like O'Brien came from the secondary and made the hit. Connor O'Brien get credit with the tackle. The redshirt freshman at Greenville, North Carolina, played at D.H. Conley High School. Gain of only 1. That looked like a big play was ready to unfold. And boy, Connor O'Brien from the strong safety spot comes in quickly and plugs the hole. Anderson and company quick to the line of scrimmage. They'll run the reverse. They'll throw the pass to Anderson. He's got it, and he'll score easily. The double reverse pass. As it ran the reverse to Green, to Gavin over to Anderson. He takes it in easy for the touchdown. What a play call here by Fayetteville State to retake the lead at 30-28. As they go 44 yards after the fumble recovery in just 4 plays. And the Broncos back in front here early in the third, 30-28, as Lamb comes on to try to make it a 30-point advantage here for Fayetteville State. So Lamb, who's got a big-time leg, set to attempt the extra point. Out of the hold of Gavin. Here is a kick up from Lamb, and it is 31-28, 11-14 to go in the third period here in Chowan. As the Hawks on the short end of it against Fayetteville State. We're back for the kickoff after this short timeout. This is Chowan football. So go CUHawks.com.
On Main Street, Integrated Family Services serves 16 Northeast North Carolina counties, specializing in mental health issues, substance abuse, and developmental disabilities. Call the Mobile Crisis Center at 866-437-1821 or integratedfamilyservices.net. Integrated Family Services, connecting pieces, creating stronger families. Looking for a healthy meal after today's game? Head to Subway, located on Main Street in Murfreesboro. They're open until 11 p.m. tonight. Try their Sub of the Month on the new Chicken Bacon Ranch Melt. Subway reminding all Hawks fans to eat fresh.
Be with you next week here from Garrison Stadium with a 12:45 airtime, 1 o'clock kick. Bowie State Winston-Salem, Winston-Salem State makes the trip from Malibu in Maryland. Take on our Hawks. We'll be with you right here on GoCUHawks.com beginning at 12:45. Here's Taylor Lamb to kick it away. David Lamb, that is. And here's his kick. It's going to be returnable. And it's going to be Perry again from the 10. Here's Kaim looking for some running room. Goes to the far side. Kaim Perry going to be knocked out of bounds into the Fayetteville State bench on a nice return on the far side. And Perry with a good return. And let's see whether the Hawks can do something with it here. Freshman's done a nice job here tonight returning kicks here, Robert.
Absolutely, on both sides of the ball. You know, special teams have been having a great night for both teams. And Chowan has really had a big night on special teams. I saw some of their guys out here, the punter and the snapper, that were working to get some things done. They had some trouble earlier on in the first half and wanted to nail that down here at halftime. So they were the only guys out on the field at halftime.
27-yard return by Perry. And Perry's pushed out of bounds at the 37 for the Hawks. We hear the Hawks trailing for the first time here in the second half. Witt to pass. Find across the middle for Gooden, and it's incomplete. Ball was thrown a little bit short. You heard some of the Chowan fans down below us here hoping for pass interference on Wood, but that ball was just not catchable. Here comes a late flag. Somebody on the Chowan sidelines must have, this is going to be just a sidelines infraction here.
I believe that's going to be on Coach Place.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, right on the referee.
And somebody must have said something on the near side. The Coach Place is having a big discussion with officials here on the near side. And it's just a sideline warning, I believe.
Sideline warning on Chowan. That's their first warning.
So that's not a penalized play here. It could be later if it's called again. So Hawks will look at 2nd and 10.
Chowan fan base had a little something to say after that.
Yeah, it is. It's been I want to say, a frustrating game for the players and the teams on both sides, really. I guess that's a nice way to say it. Here's Freeman with the football. Terrell looking for some running room. He's had a tough time tonight and has a tough time here because around his hip is going to be Anthony Harris, a redshirt sophomore, making the stop. The outside linebacker who's a returning CIAA player from last year. Made the all-rookie, no, made the all-CIAA player.
And Gaddis, when you're struggling with the run game, do you just keep on running until you get out of it, or do you start throwing at some point? Because they've really had success throwing the ball, but they continue to go to the run game.
No gain on the play. Hawks with just 57 yards on the ground tonight. Here's Baker in motion back from left to right through the formation. Witt waiting on the snap on his 3rd and 10. He has time. Now steps up in the pocket and gets hit and lets it go. It's going to be an incomplete pass. The guy who got a hand on it was Jalen Kosar, the defensive tackle who got in. Got a hand on Witt. And Chowan will surrender the football with a 3 and out with 10-14 to go in the 3rd.
This could be a dangerous swing for the Hawks right here. They're going to get pretty decent field position on the Broncos, so already down 3 is Chowan.
So John Kite on to punt it for the 4th time tonight. Remember, he dropped one back in the first half that set up an easy opportunity for Fayetteville State, and he'll get a pretty good kick here. Sharp will call for the fair catch and make it right at the 33-yard line. With a couple of calks breathing down his neck. And so here comes the Fayetteville State offense back on the field with a 31-28 lead. And only 4 minutes and 52 seconds have expired here in this
Take over at the 33-yard line.
Here in this 3rd quarter. Virginia State continues to lead Shaw. Virginia State 20, Shaw 14 in the 4th quarter. Trying to join Bowie, St. Aug, Johnson C. Smith, and Virginia Union as winners today. Here comes Fayetteville State from their own 33. You got to think you're going to see a dose of the running game. Here's Gillespie trying to bounce to the outside. Got some running room. He got a nice block on the corner by the left guard on the play. And that was Tyreek Bailey, the junior tackle from out of Hampton, Virginia, who just sealed David Harden on that far side. Those quick feet of Gillespie enabled him to get to the outside. And the carry is made up to the 38-yard line for a gain of 4. Where he looked like he was going to make more than that, Robert. Gillespie scares me when he gets it. The young man has great feet and good speed.
You know, and what's impressive to me is that they have 3 running backs that are viable options, too.
That they do. And Gillespie's got it again, going up through the middle. And Hawks had him, turned him loose. And Gillespie down the far side, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. Connor O'Brien from the strong safety spot has to push him out of bounds in Chowan territory at about the 43. Boy, he came with an eyelash going to the house to Gillespie.
And when he's got space, you see what he can do.
They're going to mark him at the 45-yard line of Chowan. So that is a gain of 18 on the play, and here he comes again. This is going to be Jetton on the carry. Donshell Jetton in the lineup, and he'll make his way inside the 40 to the 34-yard line. Should be enough to move the sticks on his wheel. And Fayetteville State is using a quick up-tempo offense here to kind of get Chowan's defense on the heels. Sort of what a page out of McKendry's playbook last week.
Absolutely. McKendry started to run out of steam towards the end. You know, they weren't used to hot weather, but looks like Fayetteville State's getting a little stronger.
9:23.
As they got to reset the clock, and that kind of saves Chowan here as they got to reset the clock here.
Let them catch their breath a little bit.
Yeah. A couple of defenders come out for Chowan, a couple of guys on that front line, and a couple of subs come up front. On his 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line of Chowan for Fayetteville State. Broncos have scored in the second half to retake the lead 31-28, trying to add to it. At the 9-minute mark here of the third period. Here's Jetton going inside, breaking loose near side. Jetton is going to be tripped up at the 20. Another touchdown saving tackle coming from the Chowan secondary. It was Brian Bryant with the stop, but out after a 14-yard scamper by Jetton. And all of a sudden this run game is starting to take hold of this one for Fayetteville State. And that huge offensive line getting the job done up in front.
If it wasn't for Brian Bryant grabbing a shoelace, that would have been a touchdown.
Very easily could have been one. So it's at the 20 for Fayetteville State. And Jetton again with the football, trying the left side. Chowan trying to cut him off, and he gets away from a tackler and lowers his head. He may have another first down. These kids run hard, and they're good runners and can get to the outside. Jetton 5'9", 205. He and Green about the same size.
Marquise Baldwin and Dorian Mitchell on the tackle.
Into the lineup comes a new fullback. It is Transouth, James Transouth, and they go with 2 backs. Gain of 6 on the play. Ball spotted at the 14 of Chowan. So it's going to be 2nd and 4. And here's the give to Green. Green will try the right side. He's got the corner turn, turns it up, still on his feet, and gets bumped down shy of the goal line. Some of the Fayetteville State players thought he had enough to get in the end zone. He's going to be marked down at the 1. You know, at that time, Robert, he came to the right side, and you could see a little seam, and he just cut it right up in that seam. Kid's a great runner.
Looks like there's another flag on the play.
Let's see what this one's all about.
Well after the play.
Now let's see what this one's all about. Maybe this is sideline. Sideline warning on Fayetteville State. So, to me, that's pretty useless. I don't understand why they keep doing it, but to me, it's pretty useless.
A penalty that's not a penalty.
That's right.
Really makes sense.
I agree. I agree. I've been called on both sides here tonight. 1st and goal for Fayetteville State. Some movement up front, and officials now will throw the flag.
Hate to say it, guys, but just a sloppy game so far.
It has been. And this is going to be a false start against Fayetteville State. You can kind of understand it from their standpoint because they haven't played much here of late, but Chowan's standpoint, we played last week.
Right, you can see that Fayetteville State has 16 penalties. Chowan's going to have 7.
Yeah.
Quite a lot for a college football game. Quite a lot for any game.
Yes, it is.
In general.
I agree. So they'll move it back to the 6, where they'll bring up 1st and goal from that spot for the Broncos. 7:56 left to go in this third period. So 31-28 lead here for Fayetteville State. And here's Green looking for some running room, and he'll go up inside the 5 to about the 4, maybe even the 3. Host of the blue-shirted Hawks get him to the turf at that spot. This drive started for Fayetteville State back on their own 33. And they're knocking on the door in the red zone again. They've been perfect in the red zone tonight. As Fayetteville State. As they look at a 2nd and goal from the 4 after the 2-yard carry here by Green. Gets them to the 4-yard line. Anderson changing the call to line of scrimmage now. Still plenty of time. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. Green will flip-flop from his right to his left. Now they'll put the tight end in motion from right on the left. They'll come back with Green to the right side. He'll cut it up and go down at the 5. Good defensive effort. Pearl again from the inside linebacker spot. Pert, that is, comes up and makes the play. We got another flag again. So let's see this one's all about. Flag came in from the far sideline. Looked like an illegal shift that time against Fayetteville State. Let's see what Tim Place elects to do. And that was an illegal shift called on the far side.
Illegal shift on the offense. Number 89, number 28, 5-yard penalty remaining. Second down.
So Chowan's going to take the penalty and move him back to the 9-yard line and give him the down back.
You like that, Gaddis?
I think I would have taken the play.
I may be on the same boat as you.
Yeah. But they're not talking to you and I. They're talking to the guys upstairs. So
that's why we're up here.
That's right. So it'll be second down again from the 9 after the penalty of the illegal shift. Anderson to pass and fires it incomplete. I don't think the receiver never saw Anderson's pass coming because he was getting pressured from Reggie Lee, his senior defensive end. He was coming right up the gut. These two guys are former high school teammates, by the way, Lee and Anderson up at Hillside. So here's a 3rd and goal from the 9. One thing about it, play did make Anderson throw the football. He hasn't thrown it very much tonight. Matter of fact, that's just his 12th pass of the night.
Their running game, they haven't had to.
Yep, that's the truth. So here we go with a 4-receiver set with Green still in the backfield with Anderson. He'll look to pass across the middle, and it's incomplete. He went right back to the same play as he was trying to go to Pearson Boyd again, and Boyd never saw it coming. Pass is way behind him. If Chowan can get out of here with just surrendering a field goal, they'll be really very fortunate here.
Small victory.
Yes, absolutely. 6:47 is what our clock is paused on. Don't forget Chowan basketball season just around the corner, both men and women's basketball. We'll have most of those games here for you all season long. Or go see UHawks.com, all the home games and a sorted number of away games. Chowan men have an interesting opener. As I'll tell you all about it after this 26-yard field goal attempt by Lamb. His shortest attempt of the year, and he missed it left. That was Lamb's shortest attempt of the year. He had made them from 40, 45, 39 twice. And misses from 26 here. Talking about a small victory.
Small victory might have just turned into a large victory for the Hawks.
That's true. So the Hawks remain within 3 at 31-28. Get the football back out of their own 20-yard line. Talking about Chowan basketball, the men have an exhibition game coming up on October 29th up at the PNC Arena against the NC State Wolfpack. So that'll be fun. Go up and watch the Hawks in the pack play at PNC Arena.
You know, we spoke last week about the Hawks football team playing Davidson and Campbell, and you talked about the basketball team going up and playing NC State. I like that. I like playing up. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, and it's an exhibition, and the game does not go against your win-loss. So
a lot of experience.
Here are the Hawks on first down. Fake to Freeman, went to pass. He looking deep for Baker. They can't get to it. Baker was trying to get in front of De La Rosa, Evan De La Rosa, and De La Rosa and Baker had a long sprint between them two. They were running stride for stride, and Bryce's pass just a little bit out of reach of Baker.
What really impressed me about that play, even though it wasn't completed, was Witt's arm. He threw that about 60 yards downfield.
That he did. We should look at Bryce, 6'4", 225. A lot of people tell me he reminds them a lot of Ben Roethlisberger. Here's Freeman trying the left side. Terrell breaking tackles, comes out to the 33-yard line for the first down. Terrell Freeman doing a little bit of Stevie Green impression. Breaking tackles and getting it up for the first down. And a much-needed first down out to the 33-yard line. Gain of 13 for Freeman. On the night, he's had a tough going tonight. He had only 19 yards and 10 carries prior to that carry. That gets him 14 out to the 34-yard line. Give the Hawks a little more breathing room as well.
And you see, when Freeman gets a little bit of room, he's tough. He runs downhill. He can make a few moves. He can break a few tackles. He's a tough runner.
Terrell, the redshirt junior out of Leonardtown, Maryland. And here is the give on the far side, and coming up with the football. It's going to be Brandon Hughes. Hughes' first carry of the night. Redshirt sophomore out of Clayton, a transfer from Concord University, Division II school up in West Virginia. Hughes a gain of 3. It brings up 2nd and 7 from that spot for the Hawks. We're trying to get it in the west checkerboard end zone here at Garrison Stadium. They retake the lead. As we get to the last 5:44 of this third period. Hughes has got it again. Hughes trying to get to the corner, and he runs out of real estate, and here comes a late flag.
Late hit.
Let's see what this is going to be about. It may have been a holding call. Looked like somebody might have been holding here for Chowan. Let's see if that's what the flag is going to be here. Have him right in front of the Chowan bench. Hughes is trying to get it to the outside. Let's see what the call is going to be here.
It's like the Broncos are pleading their case.
Yeah. Face mask against. It's going to be whistled on Joshua Williams, the freshman.
So we were both wrong.
And the ball is going to be moved down to the 42-yard line of Fayetteville State, where it'll be the first down for the Hawks at that point. A lot of movement in and out here for the Fayetteville State defense as they move a lot of personnel in and out. Chowan trying to catch them on the heels a little bit at the 42 of Fayetteville State. Witt working from the gun with Hughes to his left. Let's hope Freeman's not injured. We stepping out just a couple of plays here this series. Here's Witt. They come with a blitz. Witt's trying to burn him deep. The Gooden can't catch it. As Fayetteville State came with a blitz, trying to get to Witt. And Good was in coverage on the near side, one-on-one with Joshua Williams, and just couldn't get the separation for him to get the catch. So they'll bring up 2nd and 10 following the incompletion. Witt now tonight, 16 of 25, 271 yards. But not a lot to show for it in this half. As Watkins, Gooden, and Baker go to the right side, the tight end Austin Edwards line up to the left. On his 2nd and 10 from the Hawks from the 42-yard line of FSU. And Brandon Hughes has got us, Terrell Freeman. Freeman's got some running room, still on his feet inside the 30. He made a nice move with Freeman to elude the tackle attempt here by De La Rosa, and it's enough for the first down.
Once again, Freeman showing his ability in open space.
Yeah, it's a nice run. He made a nice cut. That's a gain of 13 yards on the play to the 29. Gives the Hawks another first down. Same maneuver here inside the 30 of Fayetteville State. Trailing 31-28 with 4:52 to go in the third quarter. Here's Witt getting pressure, dumps it off to Hughes. Hughes is going to be upended and steps out of bounds here on the near side. He got hit, regained his composure, and was able to make just a couple of yards out of it. Once again, Fayetteville State was bringing the blitz. If Chowan picks it up, Witt's pretty good at burning them, but they're coming after Bryce here in this series, and pass play ends up netting about 3 yards. So they bring up 2nd and 7 with the ball at the 26. Once again, same set that we just saw, but Hughes straight in behind Witt. And Witt's going to fake it to him. Bryce is going to pull it down and run with it. He's in the secondary and gets
hammered.
Hit pretty good on the far side, and Witt might be hurt. No, he's okay. He jumps up. That's a first down. Witt got a pretty good look on the far side. And I think Bryce just got caught looking the other way, and the defender come up and nailed him. And I think that was Anthony Harris, the redshirt sophomore, who laid him out down at about the 14-yard line, but he give Bryce enough for the first down. It's a gain of 12 as the ball spotted at the FSU 14-yard line.
To me, I think Witt has pretty good awareness. You saw 2 plays ago where, he got hit in the backfield, turns around, and dumps a little pass off. Most quarterbacks are going down in that situation.
So let's see what the Hawks do on first time. Freeman back in the lineup. Here's Witt, cornered up, and will be tackled right at the line of scrimmage. Witt he faked it up to Terrell Freeman and then ran into a host of white-shirted Broncos here on the inside, leading the charge, and the tackle is going to be Brandon Miller, the freshman defensive end from out of Winston-Salem Prep up in Winston-Salem High School. Another young player on this team, just a freshman, 6'3", 225. Poor Coach Richard Hayes has brought in some good-looking young kids for this team. Loss of 2 back to the 16. So it brings up 2nd and 12 now for the Hawks, and Fayetteville State wants a timeout. 3:20 left to go in the third, 31-28. Fayetteville State leading here at Chowan. Back for the 2nd and 12 from the FSU 16 after this short timeout.
First Citizens Wealth Management. Let our Brandon Whitley assist you with your investing needs. Contact him at 919-716-2015. Also, Southampton Memorial Hospital, located in Franklin, Virginia. Healing begins here. Visit Southampton Memorial Hospital at smhfranklin.com. Special thank you to Dr. Frank Taylor, official team doctor for the Chowan Athletics, and Dr. Anthony Bev, team orthopedic specialist for the Hawks.
After the timeout, the Hogs with the ball at the 16-yard line of Fayetteville State. Down 3, 31-28. Still 3:20 to go in the third. Here's Watkins in motion, right on right. They fake the jet sweep to him. Watkins throws in the end zone. Brandon Hughes is incomplete. Nice coverage here on the near side and knocking the ball away. And it's going to be defensive back Xavier Bullock.
26, Brandon Hughes, broken up by number 13, Broderick Call.
Correction, that was Broderick Cottle, the senior from out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. So here's a third down. Down for Chowan. See if the Hawks can continue their conversions in the red zone tonight. They were 2 of 2 in the first half. This season, they're now 11 of 15. Hughes still in the lineup. He's to the left of Whit. He's going to throw it against a 4-man rush. And it's going to be forced out of the pocket. And it's going to be sacked back at the 21-yard line. Good coverage in the secondary that time by Fayetteville State. That enabled a couple of defenders, Nigel Peel and also Keontae Gainey, to get to Bryce back at the 21-yard line. So loss of 7 on the play. So it's going to be a little more challenging field goal for Jackson Brooks. And in fact, it's going to be a 39-yard attempt off the left hash. He is 0 for 1 in field goal attempts this year. He missed from 32 yards out. Kite to hold as Brooks will try to tie it here. Here's a snap, the spot, kick from Brooks. It's on its way, and it's good. 39-yarder from Jackson Brooks, the first of his Chowan career, and this game is tied at 31 with 2:25 to go. Back for the Chowan kickoff after this short timeout. This is Chowan football. GoSeeYouHawks.com.
Try to start the month with a new chicken bacon ranch melt. Subway reminding all Hawks fans to eat fresh. Are you looking for a new used vehicle? Try Central Ford in Ahoskie, located on Memorial Drive. Central Ford specializes in new auto sales and also has an abundant used inventory. Need repairs or parts for your current vehicle? Central Ford can help with any of your vehicle needs. 866-415-8856 is the number. Ask for Nate, the gas man White. Kickoff for the Hawks, number 12, Jackson Brooks. Back deep, Donshell Chaton. And number 32, Brandon Smith.
Here's Brooks to kick it away. And short kick this time, real short. One of the outbacks going to field it up at the 25-yard line. On the return is going to be Donathan Owens, a redshirt junior, on the return. And I don't know what happened to Brooks. He just didn't get much into that one. And give Owens credit. He caught it, came forward with it, and it's going to give good field position to the visiting Broncos. And it's 37-yard line. That's where the Broncos will set up shop here. Both teams in CIAA action next week. Broncos head up to Durham and take on Shaw, who is trailing up at Virginia State now, late in that football game, 27-17. And Chowan's going to be here to take on Bowie. Here's Green breaking loose, far side. Green finally cornered up and dropped at the
Stevie Green on the carry.
47-yard line of Chowan. Green with a quick hitter off the left.
And Kenneth Wilkerson on the
And
side.
Green starting to mount up some yardage. He's got 114 yards now and 20 carries, and here's a big run to the Chowan 47-yard line. We told you Chowan's been vulnerable on the ground this year. They've given up 291 yards a game defensively on the ground this season against Campbell, McKendree, and Davidson. And barring a couple of them was Division I AA, but still, Chowan's been a little vulnerable. And here's the give to Green coming right side. He stops, cuts back, dives forward to the 45. Kid's just a terrific runner. He bides his time, picks his spots.
Tackled by Marquise Baldwin.
Marquise Baldwin's had a big night on the defensive side of Chowan. Makes a stop on Green at the 44 of Chowan. Well, really made four yards out of nothing.
What really impresses me is just how patient he is. You're not going to see that a lot at this level, at the collegiate level at all. And most runners are just going to want to take off, but he's very patient, very mature.
That he is. Been a CIAA performer in both his 2 previous years.
And you can see why.
Here's Anderson to pass on first down. Heaves it across the middle. Pick off! Intercepted by Lee Bell. As they tried to get it across the middle with Fayetteville State. And the intended receiver was Bruce Davison. Boy, does Lee Bell have some hops.
Chowan's secondary just having a huge night tonight.
As Lee Bell went high to grab that one. He climbed the ladder to grab that Anderson aerial out of the air for the second interception tonight for the Chowan defense.
3 unbelievable pickoffs from the Chowan secondary. One got wiped away. Still a phenomenal catch.
Bell playing against his hometown team. He hails from Fayetteville, North Carolina. There's Lee Bell. So the Hawks get it right back on their own 28.
Outstanding body control.
With a 68 seconds to go in the third period. All knotted at 31. And here's Freeman coming up inside, and Terrell's going to go down at about the 30. And so we got a mass of humanity falling to the ground here. Let's hope Freeman's okay. As he's helped up by one of the Fayetteville State players. Pretty good sportsmanship. And the guy helping him up was Jerome Bentley, the sophomore free safety. As Terrell's going to pick up a couple yards. Freeman now up to 46 yards on 12 totes tonight. 2nd and 8 for the Hawks.
Feel the momentum shift a little bit. I think right now would be a great time to take a shot downfield.
And here is Freeman going right, had to come back left and was able to scramble back to the line of scrimmage. And that could be the last play of this quarter. And see, looks like the third quarter clock. Looks like Chowan's going to let it run here. And we'll head to the final 15 minutes, knotted at 31. As Hawks going to let this play clock run out, and we'll play it into the third quarter. After Fayetteville State sees the lead, Chowan gets a 39-yard field goal from Jackson Brooks. And with 15 minutes to go here in the Barrow, it's Fayetteville State 31 and Chowan 31. Back to the start of the fourth and final quarter. After this short timeout, this Chowan football go to CUHawks.com.
Options tailored to your specific financial needs. From checking accounts to estate planning, Southern Bank is here for you. Contact branch manager Matthew Howell at 398-4174 to talk about your banking needs. Daily food specials, great coffee and free Wi-Fi, or a great combo on game day. Stop by King's Coffee on Main Street for specialty coffees, teas, delicious lunch specials, live entertainment, and more. King's Coffee and Eatery open 6 days a week for breakfast and lunch, and evening hours vary. They're located at 117 East Main Street in Murfreesboro.
Set to go in the fourth quarter as Fayetteville State is tied Chowan here 31 apiece. A good ball game here tonight. As Chowan has it 3rd and 8 now from their own 30. With a 3 receiver set, twins to the right, 1 to the left. With the pass, gets hit, so he lets it go. Gooden's got it. Did he get a foot down? I believe he did. And Bryce took a pretty good look. Gooden gets it down for the first down up near the 45. What a throw and what a catch. Kozar, who made the hit on Witt, might have called the worst end of that one. See, goes off to the far sidelines. Just been handed the end of the third quarter stats. Chowan with 373 yards, Fayetteville State 355. That's about as close as it can get. But Chowan gets a crucial third down conversion here on 3rd and 8 to move the ball out to the 45-yard line.
Witt paid for it a little bit.
Yes, he did.
They needed it.
And they did. He's going to keep it this time. Here's Bryce coming up in the middle. Bryce is near a first down. He faked it to Freeman going right and came in right off a nice block. That time by Dante Wooten, the redshirt sophomore from out of Raleigh. And it's enough to move the sticks on a first down to the 45 of Fayetteville State. Folks trying to move it in this east checkerboard end zone tonight. Retake the lead. Have it 1st and 10 at the 45 of FSU. And Freeman's got it this time. Terrell's got some blocking in front of him. He's got the corner turn, trying to get back inside. He'll go down at the 22-yard line. Hawks running to the short side of the field, and Freeman got another good block here on the near side. And the guy who made the block for him, Robert, was David Keck, the redshirt freshman from out of Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Huge block by Keck to spring Freeman to the near side. He'll rumble all the way to the 22-yard line.
Pass to run and run to pass.
So it is a gain of 23 on the play for Freeman. Sets up Chowan, 1st and 10 at the 22 for the Broncos. Nobody is left here tonight. It's been a very entertaining game as Gooden goes in motion from right on the right. Here's White to pass on first down. Rice is going to dump it off to Freeman underneath. Freeman eludes one tackler but loses his balance trying to get away from him, and he'll go down inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line. Coming up making the stop, it's going to be Tony McWhite, the graduate outside linebacker out of Columbia, South Carolina. And it's going to be a gain of about 4, so to bring up 2nd and 6. 2 minutes nearly have expired here in this fourth quarter here in Libero. You see Kurt Bargain down in front of the defensive unit. He's the D coordinator here at Chowan, kind of talking over things with that defense. Here's Freeman, flops to the right side of Witt, who works from the pistol. He'll fake it to him. Witt rolling. It's going to open man. Find the end zone, and it's caught for the touchdown. Adrian McNeil with a high flying catch, and Chowan retakes the lead at 37-31. How about Bryce Witt putting it right where nobody else could catch it but McNeil. You could see him, Robert. You called him. You could see him breaking loose here. Well, McNeil, who remember had a drop last week, has come back with a huge catch tonight from the Hawks need it.
Open man, Witt hit him right in the chest. Great catch.
Here's Brooks with the extra point attempt, and it is good. 38-31, 12:47 left to go here at Garrison Stadium. We're back for the Chowan kickoff. After this short timeout, this is Chowan football on GoCUHawks.com.
So local Farm Bureau agent Melissa Simmons find the best coverage that kicks in when you need it most. Melissa is in your corner offering auto, home, health, and life insurance options that are convenient for you and your family. Personal and efficient service from the home team. Contact Melissa Simmons, your local Farm Bureau agent, at 252-535-0084. Real service, real people, real convenience. Farm Bureau Insurance. Stitch Count Embroidery specializes in signs, wraps, screen printing, trophies, plaques, and many more of your advertising and promoting needs. With down-home service and cutting-edge design, Daniel and his crew will meet any of your advertising and promoting needs. Contact Stitch Count at 332-5394 and ask for Mickey. Let Stitch Count help you grow your business or organization.
Scott Parker doing some great work on the PA tonight, doing our commercial breaks.
Jackson Brooks
doing a good job for us here tonight. Scott, a member of the admissions department here at Chowan.
And you better believe these kids are taking this game seriously. This is very important. You know, it's an early time of the year, but they're taking it really important.
Here's Brooks coming forward after the Chowan touchdown has given the Hawks a 38-31 lead. Here's the dangerous Brandon Smith from the 10. And here's Brandon Smith getting loose on the far sideline, and he's out across the 35. We'll go out of bounds right in front of the Fayetteville State bench at about the 35-yard line, 36-yard line. I tell you what, Smith is dangerous back there. You put him and Jetton back there, and those guys have the jets to go. And I'm kind of surprised Gillespie's not returning kicks, Rob.
You know, Gillespie's got a lot of speed out there, but it looks like Fayetteville State's already got a pretty good deep backfield back there, averaging, 30 yards a return, somewhere around there?
Yeah, they have. So from the 36 works Fayetteville State. Green started left, went back right, and boots away from tacklers. Here's Green coming forward, and Chowan trying to strip the football, and Green keeps coming forward, and it takes about 5 Chowan Hawks to get him to the turf. This kid is very elusive. It's amazing how good this kid is. And he's got great sportsmanship, gets up, slaps his defender on the head, nice play. I mean, he's just that kind of kid. And he's going to get 9 yards out to the 45. So here comes FSU. I tell you what, if I'm Coach Hayes, Green's going to get a steady diet over here. 3 minutes have expired here in the fourth quarter. Chowan has scored here in this quarter to take the lead, and Fayetteville State will have to call a timeout. They couldn't get their offense set right. Coach Richard Hayes has just spent his second timeout of the second half. It'll come with 11:54 to go in the fourth, and Chowan out in front, 38-31. We're back after this short timeout.
All of your real estate needs. Are you in the market to purchase a home or rent or sell a home you currently own? Whether in this zip code or another, Alicia Rebel and her crew are ready to meet your real estate needs. PNC Bank is a proud game day sponsor located at 137 East Main Street. Let PNC help you with your banking needs. With PNC, make every ATM in the world free. Visit PNC.com or visit your local branch on Main Street today. Sign up for a checking account that works harder for you.
Back here in Chowan, well, Fayetteville State converts, and they'll have it second down now, the Chowan 47. Take a little bathroom run. Been a long game here tonight. Here's Jetton with a bit of football. He's in the Chowan secondary, still on his feet to a 30. As O'Brien loses his helmet trying to chase him down, finally Marquise Baldwin, he's had a boatload of tackles tonight in the secondary, makes a stop.
While you were gone, Gaddis, I was trying to talk Coach Furlow in there to come in and be my color guy and let me run it for a few minutes.
Gain of 17 on the play. Here's Jetton again, and he goes right up the gut, and Chowan has him stopped at about the 26. Coach Richard Hayes doing a smart thing here, Robert. He's relying on that running game after that interception in the last series. And Chowan ended up turning it to a touchdown, by the way.
With how effective their running game has been, I don't see them wasting time passing the ball. I would just go ahead and run it down Chowan's throat.
The 2nd and 6. As the ball spotted at the 26-yard line of Chowan. Anderson getting the play call from the far side. Play clock down to 9 seconds. And it's Donshell Jetton again, bouncing to the outside. Young man has good wheels, and he'll get the first down before he's covered up near the 20-yard line. They just do a good job. Their offensive tackles do a good job. When I say Fayetteville State of just pinning in the defensive ends and the outside linebackers here. And Jetton and Green have got enough speed along with Gillespie to get it to the corners. And Jetton that time takes it to the 19 for the first down.
You know, when they bounce it outside, Chowan just doesn't have the speed to catch up to him.
The secondary's really got to come up quickly. Two receivers to the left with a tight end to the left. Here's Green with the football. Green's on the move, and Green's to the 10, just shy of the 10-yard line as he's pushed out of bounds here by O'Brien. But Green did a little stutter step. It got him through the hole, and he's going to pick up about 8 yards on the carry. Once again, Fayetteville State quickly to the line of scrimmage. As the ball's going to be spotted at the 12, so it's a gain of 7 on the play. 2nd and 3 from the 12-yard line of Chowan. Chowan trying to protect a 7-point lead here with 9:27 left. Green's got it again, and Green's not going to get much this time. That's because Aaron Bullock's around his ankles at the 11-yard line. Green a little slow to get up. Young man's probably getting a little tired. That is his 25th carry tonight for 148 yards.
Stevie Green on the carry.
As Green's going to go right now, and Jetton with that little extra quickness getting back in. Surprised we hadn't seen Gillespie in this drive. So here's a 3rd down and 2 now with the ball at the Chowan 11 for Fayetteville State. They've run it every play in this series, and it's going to be a keeper from the backup quarterback. Latimer's coming to ball game. A correction, that's Xavier Bullock, the freshman quarterback out of Fayetteville, who's in the lineup, and he's going to pull it down and run with it.
28, Brian Bryant.
So they put in a new quarterback, and he's going to run it to the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal. First time we've seen that tonight. He gives them a little bit of different option, does Xavier Bullock. And Bullock's going to keep it again, cut it up inside. He's tripped up at about the 2. What a hit. And that was Bryant on the stop.
Quarterback keeper.
Brian Bryant. This will be the 10th play on the drive for Fayetteville State. It started back on their own 36. It'll be 2nd and goal from the Chowan 2. Jetton and Bullock make it the backfield. Here's the freshman quarterback going to about the 1.
Chowan making a strong defensive stand right here.
Let's see if they come back with Green here. They're going to come out with a power set here with 3rd and goal from the Chowan 1. You're going to think Fayetteville State's in 2-down territory here with the ball at the Chowan 1-yard line.
Absolutely. 2 downs. Well, this will really be their 3rd down to get 1 yard. Got to come up with it if you Fayetteville State.
They bring 2 fullbacks in. Trans South and
Chowan on it.
And a play here is, let's see what happened here. I was looking down to get a number. They fumbled the football.
They did.
Fayetteville State fumbles the football. Chowan recovers at the 6-yard line. I had looked down to see the 2 players' names on the roster, and Fayetteville State has just turned it over for the 3rd time tonight. And they will get the football back at their own 6-yard line with a 38-31 lead with 7:41 to go. And it's a huge play by the Chowan defense.
Just a bad snap, and the Hawks jumped right on it in the backfield.
So can Chowan now smooth the football a little bit and give his defense a chance to rest?
We talk a lot about little victories. That's not a little victory. That's a big victory.
That it is. Chowan with it 1st and 10 from their own 6. Here's Witt going to hand it ahead to Freeman, and Terrell's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. As he's going to be submarine and knocked down by Kosar again. I'll tell you what, Jalen Kosar is a terrific player. 6 foot, 320. He's out of an outstanding Butler program out in Charlotte. Freeman lost a yard back to the 5. And it'll bring up 2nd and 11 for the Hawks. Let's see if they go to the airways here. As Freeman's lined up directly behind Witt in the checkerboard end zone here. And Freeman's going to get the call again. Freeman going to bounce it to the right side. We've got a flag coming. As Freeman is going to be shy of the first down, we've got a flag coming. That came from the head official in the back of everything. Let's see what it's going to be. And it's going to be holding against Chowan. If I'm Coach Hayes, I say move him back. But Freeman made his way out near the 14-yard line. The line to make for the first down was the 16. Let's see what Coach Hayes elects to do here.
Holding, offense, number 64.
play, second down. Call made on Chris Hernandez, a redshirt freshman lineman from out of Maryland, New Carrollton, Maryland. Unfortunate call for the young man, redshirt freshman. So Hawks have the ball back at the, looks like about the 3-yard line. They call it the 4. Hawks got, well, I'll say it after this play here. Here's Whit, going to pull it down and run with it. Here's Bryce coming up the middle. Bryce still on his feet as he'll make his way out to about the 15. So the Hawks going to look at a 3rd and short. You know what's really interesting, Robert? Chowan had that ball on the 5-yard line. They called a penalty half the distance to the goal. It must have gone from the penalty flag and not from the line of scrimmage. So I was thinking it was going to be at the 2, but it was called from the penalty flag, not the line of scrimmage. So a 3rd and 1 now for Chowan. 6:14 and counting in this 4th quarter. Chowan trying to hold on to the football, leading 38-31 here against FSU. And this is Brandon Hughes coming up, and he's got the first down. Brandon just came straight ahead with nothing fancy, just came straight ahead, running in behind the redshirt junior Aaron Ray. And the ball will give Chowan a fresh set of downs out of as Hughes kind of limps off to the near side here, as the ball is going to be placed at the 18-yard line. It's a big first down for Chowan.
Gives the Hawks some breathing room.
And it does. And a chance to hold on to this football a little bit longer. As this defense needs some break. Here's Whit looking to pass. Now stops, fires, and it's caught on the far side. Nice movement. Watkins still on his feet and goes to the 49-yard line. Watkins with the catch. The sophomore wide receiver out of Wilmington. What a play by Bryce Whit. Man, he just got out of trouble, stopped, set his feet, and threw a bullet to Watkins, who caught it about the 40 and got some yards after the catch up to the 49-yard line. It was a huge completion for the Hawks.
Watkins able to high point that ball and come down with it.
That is a gain of 31 yards on the play out to the 49 of Chowan. Fayetteville State creeping up to the line of scrimmage. Whit with a long snap count. And he'll fake it to Freeman. Whit's going to step up. Was going to look to heave it and got sacked. Didn't see the defensive player from behind him and coming up making the sack from behind. It's going to be Antonio Williams. Whit that time held on a little bit too long because he was looking deep to Torrey Baker. Loss is going to be 5 back to the 44. The only thing good about that is a run play, and the clock continues to run here. 4:47 to go. As Fayetteville State continues to move defensive personnel in and out. Going to be a 2nd and 15 now for the Hawks. Here's Baker coming in motion from right on the left through the formation. And here's Whit to pass. Bryce lets it go, trying to get it to McNeil. It's incomplete. Bryce that time couldn't get enough on it to get it to McNeil. And that's going to bring up a crucial 3rd and 15 now for Chowan with 4:24 left. And the Hawks out in front, 38-31.
This is a big play right here for both teams. Chowan's got to go to the air on 3rd and 15, I would assume.
No doubt. Hughes will stay in the lineup along with Freeman in the backfield. Watkins and Baker will go to the left. We hadn't seen Paul Gooden in the ballgame for a while. And he came out a little bit gimpy early as McNeil split to the wide right here. And Watkins a pass. Here comes the blitz. Watkins steps up, dumps it off to Freeman. There's Freeman trying to get away from the couple defenders, and he'll get it to the 50-yard line. So good pressure again on Whit, and he dumps it off to Freeman, who was open here on the near side. And Chowan will have to punt it away, but it'll come after the 4-minute mark. So Chowan got themselves out of a field position pickle by moving it out to the midfield stripe. And now they're going to put it on the defense as Chowan trying to get the punt unit on here. Smart dropping back deep. Tyus Sharp. Here's Knight's kick, and it's an end over end. Sharp's going to come forward and field it at about the 16. He's tripped up on a hustling play down the field by Chowan's Isaiah Offit, a redshirt sophomore. He just fall off the blocker, then Offit to trip up Sharp, who had some running room from his own 16 out to the 22. So 3:41 left. and the ball's going to be spotted at the 22-yard line for the Broncos. Both teams in CIAA play next week. Fayetteville State up at Shaw. Chowan returns here to host Bowie State. And you will see a terrific quarterback next week in Amir Hall, the quarterback for Bowie State. Anderson back in at quarterback. And he's got Green to his left. And he'll look to pass on first down. And Anderson heaves it deep as a man, Brandon Davis, break it open. He's got it. I tell you what, Anderson hadn't completed many tonight, but he completes a big one here. He gets it to Davis all the way to the Chowan 44. Oh, man, what a big play that time. It's a 34-yard completion from Anderson to Davis. Chowan has not put any pressure on him tonight. Now you go back to your running game with 3:28 and counting if you're Fayetteville State. And the ball's bobbled, but they give it away to Green. Green's got some running room to the far side. Here's Stevie Green to the 20. And in 2 plays, Fayetteville State has moved it from their own 22, as we got an injured Chowan player, down to the 20-yard line. The ball was bobbled by Anderson, the quarterback, and I don't know, it kind of threw off Chowan's defense, and Green just kind of picked a hole and slid through it, made it all the way to the 21-yard line, a 23-yard carry, and we got an injured Chowan player.
So let me ask you something, Gaddis. With the way that Chowan's offense has been moving the ball, and quite frankly, I think the last team to have the ball may win this game. If they get down within the 10-yard line, I know it's a little early right now because they're at the 20. If they get down to the 10-yard line, do you let them score? Do you play all the way through?
That's a good question. Good question. You know, let's see the injured Chowan player is. I think it's going to be Bryant. Bryant, he's had a good night tonight. Looks like it's going to be okay. Young man's had a lot of tackles tonight, has Bryant. 38, Chowan, 31, Fayetteville State, but the Broncos are knocking on the door for the 1st and 10 of the Chowan 21, and still 3:18 remaining in this one. Here's some of the Chowan faithful down below us trying to extort this defense on. Remember, Hawks are playing without a couple of the key starters tonight, Dre Perry and Josh Berry. Injured and couldn't play tonight. Here's a man in motion back through the formation. They'll fake it to him, give him back to Green the other way. Green trying to get outside. Hawks give chase. Green's got the corner turned, and he'll be pushed out of bounds inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. Green is deceptively fast. I didn't think he'd get to the corner, but he just outran the defense here to the corner.
Looks like they took out a few cheerleaders down there.
Yeah. And the trouble is, there's not a lot of room to maneuver when he gets down there. Green with 13 yards to the 8-yard line, and Green limps off to the far side. But they didn't bring the quickness in of Jet. How about this Fayetteville State drive to try to tie this game up? And they'll give it back to Jet the other way. He's trying to get to the outside. He's in the end zone. Touchdown, Fayetteville State. Fayetteville State made it look really, really easy. They go 78 yards in just 5 plays. And they are an extra point away from tying this game up. As David Lamb to trot on to try to tie this one up. What Fayetteville State is able to do, they can change up their running back so good.
David Lamb on for the extra point.
All of them are outstanding.
Yes, they are. So here's Lamb with the extra point to try to tie it. And the kick is good. 38 apiece, 2:56 left. Back for the Fayetteville State kickoff after this short timeout.
Fayetteville State, 38. Northeast North Carolina is known worldwide for its barbecue, and the best place to get it is at Carolina Barbecue and Chicken, located on Memorial Drive in Ahoskie. Looking for a great post-game meal and a family-friendly environment? Head over to Carolina Barbecue and Chicken in Ahoskie. Call ahead for a takeout order on the way home, or contact them about game day tailgating specials at 332-8442.
David Lambs' extra point is tied up at 38, set to kick it away here with 2:56 left. Both of these CIAA teams who claim royal blue and white as their colors have played a good one tonight. And this is going to be Perry, who's going to go back and field it and drop it into 5. Dan's going to pick it up and try to come forward with it. There's nowhere to go. It's going to go down at about the 12-yard line. I think that was confusion between Perry and Courtney Johnson. The ball was kicked towards Johnson, and he kind of got away from it. And Perry had to come over and field it and dropped it and picked it up and just came forward and made his way out to about the 13-yard line. So if the Hawks going to win this one in this final 2:48, they got a ways to go to do it.
That was quite a boot by Lamb.
Yes, it was. But I think the Chowan miscommunication was costly there, as the ball is going to be spotted at the 17-yard line for Chowan.
You know, Fayetteville State scoring is not necessarily the worst thing in the world for Chowan, because now they got 2:56 to go ahead and make a drive. 2:48 now.
Here's Whit looking over the Fayetteville State defense. So we're playing the fourth quarter here, and this is a delay of game against Chowan.
And that's
not what you need in that spot. We haven't had nearly as many penalties in the second half as we did the first half.
But that seems like a pretty crucial one right there. I don't really know how that happens.
It's going to move it all the way back to the 8-yard line. So the Hawks will begin from the 8. Where it'll be 1st and 15 after the delay of game. Whit from the shotgun formation. Hawks going to rely on his big arm here to try to get it down the field. And Whit's going to be cornered up. It's going to be sacked in the end zone for the safety. Oh my, what a... Whit's going to be sacked in the end zone, and Fayetteville State's going to take a 40-38 lead on the safety.
That's the safety.
As Whit's going to go down in the end zone. He got sacked. And what a big play here. And Fayetteville State's going to get the football, and with a 40-38 lead with 2:41 left. We were just talking to Evan Carpenter, SID here. He said the last time Chowan played an overtime game, it was back in 2013. When Chowan fell here to Elizabeth City State 37-31, I remember that game very vividly. Oh, what a big play here. How costly was that delay of game, Robert?
And in that situation, you can't have that happen. It's going to be the most important drive in the game. You come out and you take a penalty the first play. And it's just not being prepared. It just can't happen in that situation.
So Chowan's going to have to kick it from their own 20. And I tell you what, the way Fayetteville State has run the football here, especially in the second half tonight, it's going to be very difficult for this Chowan defense.
Now you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. Do you onside kick? Can you onside kick?
I'm not sure. I don't think you can. Not with enough timeouts left.
And it's a free kick. I don't even know if you can onside kick with a free kick.
Made 239 yards on the ground alone in the second half. Knight with the punt. Fair catch is going to be signaled for and made by Brandon Smith at the 37-yard line. 2:40 left. Chowan down 40-38 on a safety. Bryce Witt gets sacked in the end zone. So can the defense get it back and give Chowan one more chance? We'll set to find out. This Chowan team defense has given up 491 yards. Hawson got 497 themselves.
And it's really staring down a giant trying to stop this Fayetteville State run game.
That it is.
With 2:40 left on the clock.
Hey, Stevie Green tonight, 192 yards on 28 carries. And I don't think he's going to end up with 192. As it'll be 1st and 10, Broncos from their own 39 with 2:41 left.
This is falling right in the Broncos' hands.
And Richard Hayes did he get the timeout, or was it delay of game? So let's see. The official's going to rewind it here. Hold everything. The official's going to confer. The play clock is showing 0. as the officials going to converse down below. Robert and I will be back with you next Saturday afternoon. It's a 1 o'clock kick. Bowie State's going to make the trip down from Bowie, Maryland.
There's no foul play. The officials have to reset the ball. Please set the play clock 25. First down, Fayetteville State.
So you reset the play clock to 25.
Pretty good explanation there.
Yes, it was. And we're set to go from the 44. Here's Anderson. I don't think he's going to try a pass in main of the game. He'll give it to Green coming straight ahead, and Green's going to be stood up at about the 41, and that's going to push back. And Chowan's asked for a timeout here. Stops the clock with 2:32 left. First timeout for Chowan in his half.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Chowan Athletic Department would like to thank today's game day corporate sponsors: First Citizens Wealth Management and First Citizens
Other scores today.
Metaltech of Murfreesboro.
In this league, find St. Augustine's 24, Elizabeth City State 17, Johnson C. Smith, Lincoln 13, 50, Lincoln 13, Virginia Union 52, Livingstone 19. Bowie State came back to beat Winston-Salem 20-17 today, and Virginia State beat Shaw 34-17. So it's going to be a tough, rugged Northern Division again, and I tell you what, somebody's going to have to go to beat this Fayetteville State team in the South as well. It's a good-looking football team. Head coach Richard Hayes' ball here tonight, which we expected. Even though they haven't played in a couple of weeks, they played pretty well here tonight.
Shows you how good they are.
Hey, look at 2nd and 8 with the ball placed right at the 40-yard line. Hawks would love to get a turnover here. And this is Bullock, who's coming at quarterback. The redshirt freshman comes right up the gut and makes it all the way to the Chowan 38. That's a nice coaching move by Coach Hayes. He takes Anderson out, puts Bullock in, and he runs kind of like a wildcat. And he takes it all the way 16 yards to the Chowan 44. And a fresh set of downs for Fayetteville State with 2:20 left. So Fayetteville State will not be in any hurry here. This will be a difficult loss as the Hawks can't come back. They've had to lead several times tonight, including 14-0 to begin this against a very good Fayetteville State team. And hand off to Green. He's had a big night. Green's going to come forward to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Tim Place has just spent his second half timeout.
Timeout to one. That's their second.
For Green, that is his 30th carry of the night, Robert. Kid is a workhorse, and a good one at that. Tim Place and I talked about him in the pregame. You know, he's had a bunch of good games against Chowan. He's had another good one tonight. But what makes Fayetteville State so dangerous, once he kind of loves you to skeet with his size, they come back with Jet and Gillespie with a great quickness.
You know, he's not the only one. They got 3 guys out there that are, in my opinion, very, very above average running backs at the CIAA level.
And once again, Fayetteville State picked to win the South again. As I told you coming on when the pregame here, they had 12 guys back on this team from last year that either made all CIAA or the all-rookie team. And every one of them is still underclassmen. None of those guys are seniors this year.
So that means they're going to be good for a while to come.
Amen to that. 2nd and 10 as Fayetteville State has it at the Chowan 44 with 1:56 to go. One more first down and going to wrap this one up for the Broncos. Chowan has only one timeout left. Here's Green with it again. Green slips to the 37, and that's it. As the officials continue to let the clock run. And the clock continued to wind. This will be 3rd down now, and the gain is to the 38 for 1. As a couple players got tied up here on the near side, Brandon Davis and Jamal Hampton, but no call coming. Here's what some of the Chowan fans were kind of hollering about below us. Here's the play of the game right here. Chowan can stop and get a timeout. We'll see what happens.
Chowan fans into it.
And Anderson's going to give it to Green, and Green's going to be pushed out of bounds here on the near side, shy of the first down. That saves Chowan a timeout as Green got pushed out of bounds. And it's going to put Green over 200 yards on the night. We'll see what he spotted.
Is Fayetteville State going to go for it?
I would think they have to here. We'll see. Well, maybe not. I don't know. Wow. I think they're going to go for it. It's going to be 4th and short with 67 seconds left. Chowan's had to spend that timeout because they started the clock back. The officials started the clock back. And Coach Tim Place is explaining his decision to the officials here on the near side. And Coach Place thinking that he should be able to have that timeout back. He's not going to get it. So that's his last timeout. You heard some of the Chowan fans that Green got out of bounds.
I don't understand what the call there was.
I'm not sure. I did not recognize if they signaled the clock to stop or not.
He didn't even get tackled.
Yeah.
He ran out of bounds.
Yeah. So it's going to be 4th and 2, and this is the ball game right here, and Fayetteville State obviously going to go for it.
It looks like they got their punter out there.
They do. They have the punter out there. Oh, this is interesting.
Very odd decision.
Paul Gooden's back to take it. A good time to block it, pick it up, and run it in.
Oh, nobody's on him. Watch out for the trick play right here. Chowan finds it.
Young's going to pull it down and run with it. And Chowan's going to get it back at the 45-yard line. How about that move?
I am so glad a Chowan defender saw that receiver motion out to the right.
So Chowan will get it at their own 45 after Fayetteville State decided to fake the punt. And only 9 seconds went off the clock. Chowan's got it at their own 45.
You know, we were both thinking it was a little bit sketchy for them to be punting in that situation. Do something tricky was going to be going on. Had a receiver move out to the right, and luckily a Chowan defender turned his head twice, saw him. Chowan fans really getting into it right now. All they need is a field goal to win.
They put 2 seconds back on the clock. 1 minute exactly to go. Holt's down 40-38. Winning the offense back on the field. And he'll look to pass on first down. There's Bryce trying to heave it deep, trying to get it to Baker. And Baker couldn't hold it.
That's got to be fast.
He was tied up with a defender back there, and a good play by Elvin De La Rosa. As he was battling Baker, he was deep. And Baker got his hands on it at about the 15-yard line.
I'm really surprised there wasn't a flag thrown on that one. It looked like he got to him a little bit early.
Yeah. A play that Chowan used last week for a touchdown was a bubble screen to Paul Gooden. Could you run it here, but if you don't get out of bounds, you got no chance. So here's Whit back in the gun again. And he'll look to pass. 4-man rush. Whit steps out of the pocket, heaves it across the middle. Catch is made for the first down. Baker, ball's hit behind it, comes out, and Fayetteville State's got it.
And that's going to
ball's popped out of the hands of Baker from behind, and Fayetteville State will recover, and that'll be the ball game. Baker was trying to maneuver for extra yardage, and the ball got knocked out of his hands and recovered by Jerome Bentley, the sophomore free safety. So Fayetteville State's going to get the football and survive here in Chowan, and it's going to be a safety is going to be the difference. That's tough luck for Torrey Baker, who had made a nice catch and was maneuvering for position, and the guy who knocked it out of his hands from behind, I believe, might have been Alex Wood.
It just looked like he put his helmet right on it and popped it out.
So victory formation coming here from Fayetteville State.
That's got to be a heartbreaker.
Yep. So
heartbreaker for Chowan.
Big play here for Fayetteville State. They made some big plays in this last 5 minutes. That's going to seal it for them. And they'll snap it, and Anderson will just take a knee. And that's going to do it. I don't think they're going to have to snap it again, and they will not. So Chowan's going to fall to 1-3 and 0-1 in league play, and Fayetteville State's going to go to 2-1 and 2-0 in league play as Chowan cannot stop the clock, and it's going to run out. Terrific ball game here tonight as Fayetteville State being out of action for 2 weeks due to Hurricane Florence, will come back and win it tonight, 40-38 here at Chowan. We'll take a break and come back and wrap this one up. Tough night for the Hawks. They fall here 40-38.
The final score, Fayetteville State 40, Chowan 38.